All right, welcome back, everybody. Tonight we will be playing the prelude of Masks of Nyarlathotep.
Okay, yeah, my name is Eric, and I'll be playing Daniel Lombardi, the train hopping tramp.
Okay, when our adventure begins, you have been hired by Augustus Larkin to work for him in his expedition in Peru to a forgotten and lost temple where he has promised that you will become rich from the spoils thereof. You were train hopping to visit an old war buddy and found out he had been committed for shell shock. He had joined Larkin's expedition, however, his committal made him unable, so he asked you to take his place. At first you resisted, not wanting to give up your wandering life, but he thought this would give you purpose again after the war. Eventually you acquiesced because you did not want to disappoint a man that saved your life in the wire. Sean.
I'm Sean. Hi. And I'm playing Clive Caldwell, investigative journalist.
Sean, you heard a lot about Augustus Larkin and his well-vaunted expedition because he plastered everything and everywhere with ads to hire people on. And you looked into the man a little, couldn't find much information, and you just got a gut feeling about this one and decided you're going to sign yourself on because this could be a story of a lifetime. Sarah.
I'm Sarah, and I'll be playing Hazel Murphy.
You're here because a certain someone else that you work for fairly often that has a lot of money asked you to come along with him on this expedition to help keep his equipment in shape. Because he's really lazy. And you were like, I don't want to go to Peru. But he was like, double pay? And you're like, okay. Steve.
Hello, I'm Steve. I will be playing Sidney Rockwell, gentleman explorer and man of great wealth.
Augustus Larkin reached out to you directly and asked you to join his expedition. Share the spoils, not share the expense. You asked what was in it for him. He said you being there would give him all kinds of exposure and attention. And it was true. When this scenario begins, you will have arrived in Lima, in Peru, for a meeting at the Bar Cordano with Augustus Larkin. You will be having dinner with him and the other members of the expedition, which you have been told is a very small expedition. You are all arriving here for the first time separately, with the exception of Sydney and Hazel, who are arriving together. I will open the scene and then have you come in, Sean, and then Eric, and then Steve and Hazel, and you can describe your entrance and how you or whatever description you would like to give of yourselves, and this will be your first interactions, most of you. A little bit about where you're going first. Peru of the period. Located on the west coast of South America, in this period known by its official name, the Republic of Peru, is the third largest country in the subcontinent, home to just under 5 million people. Its northern point touches the equator, and it's got about 500,000 square miles of landmass. Terrain and climate, because of the size, is widely varied. It's got an arid coastway, warm, wet lowlands inland, including the Amazon basin and the Andes Mountains and the highlands around them. Civilization in what is now Peru dates back to at least 2500 BCE. The wide variety of pre-Columbian civilizations largely gave way to the Incan Empire in the 14th century, which then ruled over most of Peru. The empire was short-lived, however. The first Spaniards arrived in 1528, followed by the conquistadors, led by Francisco Pizarro in 1532. He founded the city of Lima in 1535, where he was assassinated in 1542. Thus is the life. The Incan Empire fell in 1572 when Francisco de Toledo executed the last reigning Inca, Tupac Amaru. No, I didn't make that up. And the Viceroyalty of Peru was created. The Viceroyalty lasted until the early 1820s, when General Jose de San Martin invaded with an army of soldiers from Argentina. This was the beginning of a long war that finally ended in 1824. Since then, there has been some political volatility, but in 1921 the country is largely stable and prosperous. It's mostly made up of Amerindians, slightly over half. The majority is mixed race, with white people making up around 15%, mostly there to be tourists and destroy everything that matters of the civilization. There are large populations of Chinese and Japanese immigrants in Lima, with many of them having been brought over to build the railways or mine guano, because it's a very rich fertilizer in Europe at this time.
Huh.
Shit farmers. The majority of Peruvians speak Spanish, although there are a number of local linguistic groups that speak Aboriginal languages. English is not widely spoken. The city itself, in the 1920s, is in the process of economic recovery and rapid expansion. It's currently got 200,000 permanent residents and is growing rapidly. Sanitation conditions have very recently been modernized, and you can find all the amenities of any large western city. Those newfangled flushing toilets. The city lies on a bay and straddles both banks of the nearby river Rimac. How do I pronounce that, Eric? You know?
Write it for me. Let me see.
Rimac. With the
Rimac?
little hyphen over the I. What's that called?
Accent. Yeah.
The
Lima.
accent. Rima? Okay. The bay is also home to the neighboring city of Callao, although a recent expansion makes it hard to tell where one city ends and the other begins. Because it's an international port and the capital, it gets a lot of international visitors. For fluff information, the currency here is the sol. There are 10 dineros to 1 sol, and 10 centavos to 1 dinero. In 1921, a buck is worth about 3 sols. Weather-wise, you're in the southern hemisphere, and it's March, which means you're here in late summer. The varied geography of the country makes for an equally varied climate. On the warm, dry coastal area, hot and humid lowlands, and cooler highlands with lots of rain. It's also very sunny here, and it's mild, but you might think it's hot depending on what state you're from or country. Average temperature while you're here will be between 67 and 77, but it's very, very humid. It's a wet heat.
You mean winter?
Larkin has arranged for you to stay at one of the best hotels Lima has to offer, which is the Hotel Mori, located right in the center of the city. There are dozens of well-furnished rooms, a well-appointed banquet room, and an extravagantly stocked bar, especially famous, Sydney, for its pisco sours. Fancy world drinks for you, even though it was invented by an American bartender. But you don't know that. Larkin and D. Mendoza,
It's a local delicacy, I'm sure.
yes, are staying at a different hotel, which is about 10 minutes away from yours. And when the scene begins, you will be entering for dinner. It is 7 p.m. on March 18th. You walk into the bar, and you see that it's simply but tastefully furnished with wood paneling and fixtures and a tiled floor. Food smells amazing. As you come in, the maitre d' shows you to a table where 3 men are already seated. As you look at the men, you see an African American man of average height and build with short hair and a grin, wearing a tweed suit and a fedora hat with a pipe. He's gesturing empathetically with whatever he's saying to the man that you recognize as Augustus. Augustus looks a little different than you expected. He's a pale, thin white man with greasy blonde hair and pale blue eyes. His skin is saggy and he has noticeable bags under his eyes. He's wearing a white linen suit that also appears baggy, like it doesn't fit right, which is weird for a rich guy. And even before you get to the table, you can smell his cologne from 20 yards away. He wears a lot of it. And the last gentleman at the table, you do not recognize, is a gaunt man with pronounced cheekbones and deep-set, piercing blue eyes. He's got scraggly brown hair with clean but old and frayed clothing. As you approach the table, we will begin with Sydney and his sidekick.
I wouldn't call Hazel a sidekick, more of a acquaintance. One of capable
That's right, you're the sidekick.
capabilities.
quite.
Okay, so we enter into this nice but simple bar. Move up. Mr. Larkin, I assume, correct?
Oh, yes, yes, and you must be Sydney, he says as he looks up your expensive clothes up and down.
That's correct. I am Mr. Rockwell.
I'm so pleased to meet you. He reaches his hand out to shake it. It's a
I'll shake.
He appears to
I'll
be a
shake
very affable man, and he smiles. And who is this lovely thing you've brought with you? He stands up, but it takes him a minute like he's weak, and he takes your hand and kisses it.
I'm Hazel Murphy, and I'm Mr. Sydney's mechanic. So if there's anything you need me to fix, I will. But it is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance.
And mine as well, I'm sure. Won't you have a seat with us?
Absolutely, I would love to.
The rest should be here shortly. The waiter walks up and just stands there. And before you have a chance to say anything, Larkin orders drinks for you. He orders you, Sydney, very expensive scotch. And he orders you, Hazel, the fruitiest frou-frou drink there is.
They normally have more alcohol.
That's a fair point. Hold on, I'm pausing. I'll edit this. I've got Sarah turned up too far. Resume. As you get settled in your seats, into the bar walks Daniel. What are you wearing when you enter the expensive restaurant?
Probably the drabbiest, greasiest suit that I wore to the last funeral I attended. Just kind of waltz in. I got like a satchel or something, like slung over my shoulder. I definitely look like I don't belong there. Probably got thrown off the back of a produce truck on the way over here. And I'm just looking around like...
When's the last time you shaved?
Probably not for a while. I look at the lady.
What decade is it?
Look at my guy. Excuse me, senorita. I'm looking for Mr. Larkin. You know.
The random lady you're talking to gives you the face and walks away quickly. And before you know it, there's a large maitre d' in your face, and he says, "Sir, perhaps you're at the wrong address." But then from the back table, you hear a voice yell, "Oh, he's with me, sir. You'll have to excuse his appearance."
I point to him over the maitre d'. I'm like, that's the guy. Yeah.
The maitre d' looks skeptical. Then Larkin says, "Come on, old chum, you can let him through, right?" And he reaches for his wallet dramatically. The maitre d' sighs and lets you pass. You walk up to the table, and you see these 5 people, most of which are looking at you like, "Are you in the right place?"
Hello. Excuse me. I just got off the truck. I pull up a chair.
Clearly, I don't even get that dirty when I'm working on cars.
Hello, lady. You know, a dolphin invisible hat that I don't own. Take a seat.
As you're getting settled in, last but not least, Clive comes into the bar. Eagle-eyed reporter is showing up late to get a good look at everyone.
Right. So he's probably got his clothes are not new because he's just never thinks about buying new ones. But he's got like a vest, like a really loose tie around his neck, and got a coat slung over his shoulder, and definitely has a fedora on. And walks in, looks around the room, looks at the maitre d' and is like, I'll have bourbon.
Maitre d' is like, "I'm sure you would, sir. Right this way," and takes you over to the seat while he kind of looks at you like you don't understand what people's jobs are to you.
Don't care.
He seats you at the table, and Larkin says, "Yes, we're finally all here." And he introduces you all to each other. He's starting with a person. He's starting with the African American gentleman who he identifies as Jesse Hughes. Jesse is here to offer his knowledge of the region and the history of this area to the expedition. Psychology rolls if anyone wants to.
Well, I don't think I got jack in psychology. Might
I
as
clicked
well.
psychology, but it didn't work.
You have to take it off
you,
edit.
you gotta take it off edit mode, and then you highlight the skill you want, and then
there
you
it
hit the
is.
dice button.
There it is.
No.
Oh, super
When you
failed.
say highlight, how do you mean?
Click the skill you
psychology?
want, and then it'll put it in the dice roller, so you can hit the D100 symbol.
Aha! I failed.
Whoa.
Nothing looks
Look
out
at
of
us
place to
failing.
any of you. No, I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing? I'm
Me.
missing. Yep.
I can't get it to roll.
So, make sure you're not in edit mode. Upper right.
I'm not.
Highlight the skill,
Yep.
and then click the dice button above it, like in the middle-ish of the character sheet, where it says.
Right underneath where it says luck.
Yeah. There it went.
When you say highlight the skill, what do you mean?
You click
Click
the
it.
skill you want to roll, and then it'll change the actual dice roller that's in the middle of the screen.
And if you fail, you highlight it, right?
I think if you succeed.
If you succeed, you check the little arrow.
Aha. Okay. I had that backwards.
I thought it was if you just used it.
No, you have
No.
to succeed to check the arrow.
Okay.
Okay. The atmosphere seems a little off, but you don't pick up on anything particular. Little tension here, but you don't know why. Maybe it's because of the smelly hobo.
It's not me, I swear. Are you gonna eat that?
No, you can have it.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So Jesse Hughes is introduced to you as a folklorist. And
I'm
then-
sorry, that's a profession?
To you, that means you're thinking professor. You think he's just a professor of some kind.
Ah,
You're
Uh,
a plumber. What on earth is that?
And then he introduces you to the other man on the other side of him. He introduces as Luis de Mendoza. He is his right-hand man, his aide, and the person who will be helping arrange your transportation and hiring of any guides and locals that you need along the way. Jesse
said his
Hughes
last
seems
name
like an
is-
affable sort. He looks relaxed. He gives you easy smiles. He's got an open expression. However, de Mendoza, he stares at you, doesn't smile much at all, says very little, and doesn't blink very often. It's a little weird.
Who is he looking at?
Any of you.
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
so out of character, this man's a demon.
or he's an old one, right? He's
I
a
gave you
deep
the
one?
hint.
He's
Mendoza.
deep
De
one?
Mendoza.
De Mendoza. Ah,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
So the rich guy's a deep one, and the old guy's a demon, and they're teaming up.
In Peru.
Demon
Right.
teaming.
To go nowhere
Yeah.
near the ocean. Nailed it. Mystery solved.
The team.
If we just punch these guys, we're good. We won the module.
We're done.
Fastest mask playthrough ever. Just beat the two guys at the beginning.
He begins by restating while you were all here, which I will throw up some handouts
Ew.
for you to look at.
Oh.
A Call of Cthulhu handout.
This is the article written by your friendly neighborhood intrepid reporter.
Is this going to be is this the first of 5,000 handouts, I
I
assume?
was just about to say.
Across the
Article
campaign,
1
yes.
of
In this moment, no.
15,000.
Daniel resents that, by the way. I don't like that word.
You just sounded like Beetlejuice.
And then
Hey,
a
everybody.
picture of the telegraph you would have gotten to get here. Leave those up in case you need it for any reason.
I'm not
A
seeing
little
this.
bit.
I'm not seeing them either.
Yeah,
I
no,
too also am not.
it's not in the journal. Oh, there it is.
Ah,
there
there it
Because
is.
roll 20s didn't make them publicly visible. There you go!
Oh, roll 20. You're actually pretty awesome.
And a little artwork. So my descriptions are terrible. That would be Jesse Hughes on the left, Larkin in the middle, and De Mendoza on the right.
That man's definitely a demon.
Yeah, I was just about to say. And that man's definitely a deep one. Like, this is done. Like, I punched them both in the face.
Please inform everyone watching at home the dish that Larkin recommends you all eat, because it's especially good at this restaurant.
Oh, I see. Yeah. This is the escabeche.
Yes, a hot, sweet, and sour fish dish. It's especially good here, but everything is yummy and tasteful. So,
Actually sounds delicious.
and of course, Larkin says, all of this is on me. What do you order, Hazel?
What do I order?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was addressed towards someone else. What do you order, Hazel?
Well, a woman obviously can't order herself. I mean, Jesus. What year is it?
I am perfectly fine with ordering what he suggested. A little terrified, but
Willing to try new things, yes. What about you, Sydney?
I'll have the same, please.
Daniel? What do you want to order, Daniel?
Yeah. You got any hamburgers here?
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Ham? Yes,
Got
sir.
it.
We do have
Hamburger?
ham. How would you like your ham prepared?
On a burger.
Burger. What's a burger?
Hamburger, you know. He makes the hand gestures.
Ah, I understand. Yes. And the later leaves to give you some kind of pounded ham dish. What about you, Clive?
That ain't what I ordered, but I'm starving, so I'll take it.
After his inability to order a hamburger, I'll just have a grilled cheese.
The grilled cheese.
He looks at you again and says, "You want us to grill you cheese?"
Yeah, you take some cheese, you put it on some bread, you grill it, because that stuff looks weird.
Ah, I
So-
understand. And he says something that isn't
Fuck.
grilled cheese in Peruvian, and he wanders off.
It's
While
the
you're waiting for
gringo
dinner to
meal.
cook, Larkin thanks you all for coming and tells you he hopes that your travel to Lima was without issue, which it was. During the course of the pleasant dinner, he will explain his plan to you, which he'll get into most of while the food is arriving. It basically breaks down to this. You're going to head up to the highlands, locate the site of the lost pyramid, and recover some valuable artifacts. He's a little subtle about the last point when he said the valuable part. He tries not to make it obvious he's talking about getting rich off these people's stuff. But he does talk a lot about the archaeological validity and the things you could learn from such a place, about the culture and history of this area.
Is there anything
But-
I might be able to learn from an an anthropology role in regard to this?
There will be, yes.
Ah.
I'll save that for a second until I...
Okay.
It is clear, though, he expects everyone involved to become wealthy, or at least realize some measure of success.
And by everyone he means only.
He tells you he bought a few interesting items from an alpaca farmer near Puno, who claims that his grandfather recovered them from tunnels beneath a pyramid high in the mountains.
He's just
killing
come
the
out with-
music. The grandfather
Eating
never
parsley.
returned to the site because of superstitious fears, but told his family that there were other treasures in the tunnels. While the farmer could not give a precise location for the site, Larkin states that his subsequent research has provided enough detail to narrow it down and make an expedition viable. And now, anyone who likes could roll psychology or archaeology or anthropology.
Can I take a picture of the group?
Mhm.
Are you going to ask? Or you're just going to stand up and do it?
I'm just stand up and do it.
Okay. Mendoza looks annoyed. Larkin doesn't care. Hughes gives you a dazzling smile.
I put my hand in front of my face.
Ooh, I succeeded.
Nice.
Alright, I don't know how to get not. Oh.
Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Hazel. Successful roll for psychology. Clive,
Woohoo.
successful
Success.
psychology.
Wow.
Clive is trying to change his skill.
I am trying to change my skill, and I don't know why it won't work. Oh, was it in? I think it was in edit mode. There we go.
Let's see what we get on the picture.
Boom. That was a hell of a picture.
That was a hell of a picture. You almost dropped the camera that close to failing. You get a good picture though. It's not blurry. Archaeology. Would you like to roll archaeology or anthropology?
Who, me?
Sydney.
I did.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
Psychology. Psychology.
I rolled an
Psychology.
82 versus a 35.
Oh, there it is. He showed. So, for those of you that succeeded on the psychology roll, you determine that there's more to the story of the farmer. But he's telling the truth about what he did say. He's not lying. He's just holding something back. He then shows you all the 2 items he claims to have bought from the farmer. One is a pendant in the form of a man holding 2 rods or 2 staves, embellished with strange rectangular shapes. The other is a golden cup, carved with geometrical patterns and circles and inlaid with turquoise. They are definitely odd for this region, Sydney, but that's all you get because the roll was a failure.
Okay.
And they're old too, centuries old, like maybe even 1,000 years.
I grabbed one and tried to appraise it, but failed.
He tells you to be careful with it. Those are priceless.
There, he appraised it for you. Priceless.
At this point, dinner arrives. Those of you who ordered the fish dish, it is very sweet and sour and a little spicy and really yummy. Recluse, wow. Daniel, you are delivered ham with a side of bread and a variety of sauces.
You know what? It's fine. I'll eat it.
Surprisingly delicious. It's got some kind of sweetness to it. Some kind of fruit, maybe? I don't know.
This pineapple?
and for you, Clive, they delivered to you some kind of dark-colored bread. It's marbled, but it's not rye, but it looks like rye. And it's got at least 3 kinds of cheese on it, and some kind of sauce, and some kind of local tomato, and it's amazing. It's some kind of gourmet grilled cheese you've never had in America. Over
Sounds
dinner.
tasty.
Yes. Over dinner, Larkin tells you he's happy to answer any questions about logistics that you may have. We'll now open the field up to you to query your mysterious companions.
Can we talk to the grandfather?
Do you mean the old man in the Highlands?
Yeah.
That's another edit pause.
So I just looked up escabeche.
Yes.
Wow.
Does it look amazing?
It's cold fish.
Oh.
Serves cold or room temperature, yeah. Like ceviche.
Yeah, like ceviche. Yeah. So yeah, you sear it and then you put it in this acidic mixture for a day, usually. To
That's
finish
the only
it up.
difference is from what I read. Ceviche is just raw fish. They put it in the lime juice and it cooks in those juices.
Yeah.
With
This-
the
yeah.
escabeche, it sounds like they sear it or whatever. They saute it and then they put it in the marinade.
From what I'm seeing, it's literally just like a quick, really high heat sear, and then
And you let the juice kill all the bad stuff.
and then you let the juice kill all the bad stuff, and then it's served cold, and you eat it when it's very hot, like outside. So it's a cold fish stew.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He tells you if on your journey to the temple itself, your expedition path takes you past where the farmer was, then yes, he sees no reason why you could not stop by and speak to him. He's nowhere near Lima, though.
Oh, cool.
He tells you he was in the Highlands, far from here.
This old man, what was the reference to him? I think I missed it the first time. Is he somebody that he has as part of the expedition, or
This
just a
is
local?
the person that Larkin heard about the Lost Pyramid from. He's an alpaca farmer. His name is Ernesto Molo, and Ernesto Molo's grandfather had found the site and taken the items that you're looking at now.
Got it. Okay.
And
Man,
Ernesto told Larkin the place is cursed and feared, but you're not going to subscribe to local superstitions, of course. You're men and women of the world.
Yeah.
He says there's absolutely no basis in fact of this curse.
Oh,
In
okay.
fact,
says
it's
he
the
rubs
opposite.
the rabbit's foot.
And it's the opposite. It is our good luck to be the first professional expedition to find it and visit it.
That will indeed bring us good fortune.
You get a smile in return.
Daniel's just kind of stuffing his face with whatever's around because he probably hasn't eaten in like a week. So he's like, "You gonna eat that?" And he grabs like a little piece of bread or something. And he rolls. And he's like, while he's munching, he's not great with manners. So he's just kind of like, So you're saying that there's tunnels underneath this temple place, and you need people to like grab stuff out of there and bring it out.
He looks at you for a moment, his smile never falters, and he says, "Absolutely."
Okay, I can do that. Yeah, that's easy.
Sir, I appreciate you bring many skills to this expedition I'm sure we'll eventually see. However, one that I might suggest you learn quickly is chewing with your mouth closed.
Oh, my apologies.
Jesse says, "I don't know, he seems like a mighty fine fellow to me."
Seems pretty
Gives you a charming
down to
smile.
earth. Jesse, what's your part in this?
Oh, I am, I know a lot about the history and archaeology and lore of this place. In this country, in various parts of the world. You may have read some of my books. He goes to list books you've never heard of.
Yes.
Oh,
No, I believe
Yeah,
I've perused those slightly.
slightly.
Yeah, I'm sure you got everyone in your little library back at your house.
And is there any vital information you can provide about this particular locale?
Psychology rolls.
Oh god.
Clive, hard success. Nice.
Mm.
Sydney, critical failure.
Well, this game hates me today.
I'm gonna suck at this psychology shit. Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh man.
10%
Sydney.
only.
You get distracted. There's a very beautiful senorita. Clive,
Yeah.
there's some subtext going on here. He gives a generic sort of answer to the question, and he's like, "Nothing in particular that comes up, but I'm sure we'll have lots of time along the expedition to talk about this at length, as it is a long journey." And you're like, "I think this guy does have more to tell us, but doesn't want to say it in front of Larkin."
Mm.
Mr. Larkin, you're looking rather unwell. Is it a bit of sickness going on in the jungle? Will you be able to come with us?
"Oh, I'm just recovering from malaria, but I'll be fine. I can totally handle it. I can absolutely handle it, my dear.
Very well.
Just a bout of the local mosquitoes. You know how it is. Out of character here. I'll call for rolls when they're important, but you can declare you would like to roll something to perceive things anytime you want. But I won't always ask you to.
What can I roll?
Usually, in a situation where you want to deduce things, it would be psychology for sense motive, or spot hidden for any kind of search or looking check.
So this guy's fighting malaria, looks on death's door, and is going to go back out into the jungle on an expedition to a never-found-before pyramid.
Do you totally trust this information, Sydney? No reason to roll against to see if that's true?
I mean, I've rolled so badly up to now, I'm distracted by the senorita, so...
I also must have been distracted by the senorita because I failed that roll.
Also, do
She's
not
very
forget,
alluring.
you can, now, in this instance, it's probably not super important, but do not forget when you fail the roll, you can push the roll by describing a dramatic way you try harder, which causes a more dramatic failure if you fail the second roll. So, in an instance like this, you don't trust your first gut instinct, so you're going to really look into that the second time, and if you fail the second roll, I'll be like, it's obvious you don't trust what he's saying because of the way you're staring at him. Or something like that would be an example of how that works.
Okay.
Yeah, he picks up on it.
You give yourself away or whatever.
Right.
So yes, that's what he tells you when you ask about why he looks so sickly. It's clear Hughes doesn't think this is the case, but is trying not to show it.
I'll lean in very close to Hazel and whisper so that no one else really. When he dies, it'll be easier to take his cut of the profits.
Wow.
Whoa.
You successfully whisper that, no one hears you but Hazel.
Cutthroat.
You are quite the bastard.
What's the other guy's name? Des. What was his name?
Demon
Demon
Doza.
Doza.
Demon Doza. I asked him. So, what's your skin in this game?
I am his personal aide, like he said.
Okay. Doesn't really answer the question.
Larkin's or Hughes' personal aid?
What'd you say, Steve?
Larkin's or Hughes' personal aid?
I am Larkin's personal aide.
Can I psychology him?
You can, because he's staring at you like I am without blinking.
Uh-huh.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Not creepy at all.
So, why are you here? Why are you following this old guy around?
He pays me well, like he pays you.
Uh-huh. I mean, money's a good motivator, but you're about to go in the jungle. So, why are you here?
Are you saying we're nothing but jungle rats, my kind, my people, sir?
What? No.
Demon
What are you talking
Doza.
about?
Demon Doza looks local, hence the name.
Right. Just,
I unsuccessfully used my boorish charm to smooth things over, and I failed. I called it. I'm like, Mr. Larkin, I really appreciate you getting me out here on a ticket and everything, and the food is great. Thank you. But I did have a question about my buddy that you alluded to in your telegram.
Ah, yes, I was sad to hear that he had become sick and you had to take his place.
Oh, is he in the hospital?
Well, yes, he's been committed. Shell shock, I hear.
Oh,
He's
Like,
not well.
wait,
here in Lima?
No, this is in America.
Okay.
You would not have necessarily have known that, though. You corresponded with him via letter, and he said he was too sick to do the job, and he really wanted you to do it, and you owed him.
I thought he was already here, and
No.
when since his time here, he's been committed. I was like,
No.
oh,
No, not
He
that
was
dramatic.
committed because you're here.
got it.
For that psychology roll that you rolled on Demon Doza, you can't tell if he's lying or not. The man is hard to read because he has an almost absolute lack of emotion. He's a very weird guy, though. Like, he's very odd. Can't quite put your finger on it. It's very odd. Also, the way he speaks when you're actually scrutinizing him is archaic. Like, the phraseology he uses is not modern.
I take a couple more pictures of the group,
Okay.
commemorate the thing. And,
Oh, hold on. Let me get my camera face ready here.
Mr. Caldwell, I appreciate your particular perseverance in regard to the capturing of images. However, please know that picture is worth quite a bit of money with my likeness attached to it. So, if you will,
yeah, I'm
please.
sure it's worth millions.
My image is, of course, protected. So please.
Clive Caldwell, the first paparazzi.
Paparazzo.
Paparazzo.
That
thank
sounds
you.
delicious. I'll have one.
Oh god.
More questions that
fired.
the players may have while dinner commences. When you're not asking questions, he's just making pleasant small talk. Larkin does most of the talking. Or any rolls anyone wants to make on any other person at the table.
I want to ask Jesse, like, where he studied at, like, where he's a professor at.
Pause. I may have failed to put that in my quick notes.
Oh no.
Are we supposed to clap at this point for the edit?
Slow clap for me not putting that in quick notes.
There you go.
Does it tell me where he studied? Yes. He says, I'd be glad to tell you, good sir. Always happy to learn more about others and have others learn more about me. I'm from Connecticut. I imagine most of you are from America, so you've probably heard of that. It's a small, out-of-the-way state. Kind of had to...
Never heard of it.
kind of had to bring myself up. No family much to speak of. But I made my way. I went to Miskatonic University and got my degree there. My first degree.
I did a stint there.
Did you, sir?
Yeah.
Did you?
Year or two.
Did you study anything under Professor Peabody? I loved his classes. It's too bad to hear about his expedition.
Peabody. Who? Yeah, Peabody. Totally Peabody.
You remember something about that expedition because you're a reporter? Something about going to Antarctica and terrible things happened in the mountains there.
Oh.
Whoops.
Miss Miskatonic, a fine institution. I myself am a Yale and Oxford man.
Oh, prestigious, good sir. He's not being sarcastic. This Jesse fellow is genuinely affable and likable compared to these other two. Jesse starts talking at length now that you queried him, and he talks about how he's a lifelong skeptic but is fascinated by local superstitions and such. And until you come up with more questions, he's just regaling you with tales of the superstitions of ancient cultures.
That was Hughes, correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Hughes, while you were at this Miskatonic, what was it that you focused your studies in?
Folklore.
Folklore, okay. And any particular South American folklore?
Folklore of the Americas was one of my areas of expertise, yes.
I see. And what were these books you've written before? You've mentioned multiple books in the past. What were these topics on?
He skillfully changes the subject without directly answering that, but it seems like he directly answers that. And it's not hiding the answer from you.
Got it. Okay. Then, based on what you said, am I able to pick up on this whole thing about him not wanting to talk in front of Larkin, or am I missing
after that? Yes, it's kind of obvious to you after that.
Okay, then I'll turn to Larkin. Augustus, I thank you so much for dinner this evening and everything of this nature. We have traveled quite far and we'll start getting to know each other quite well. And you, as mentioned before, have a bit of a bout with malaria. Perhaps, you'll allow us to kind of meet each other, have a bit of discourse amongst us, and you should perhaps get some rest in regard to the expedition that's coming up and the exertion of which I don't want to overdo for you. And I'll talk, not fast talk, but over talk, and try to persuade him to leave us all alone so we can get to know each other while he rests.
You can roll persuade with a bonus dice because he was about to excuse himself anyways.
Oh.
So the bonus dice means you roll twice and you roll the tens place twice to take the better result.
Oh.
Let's see if we can see how the sheet does that. Does it have an option for you to roll with a bonus die?
I don't think so.
Roll bonus penalty dice.
There it is. Look at that.
Oh.
Succeeded either way. Don't forget to check that one with the little arrow. Before he leaves, does anyone want to make that I want to say search spot hidden check on Dart Larkin before he leaves?
Heck yes.
Feels
just a regular spot hidden?
Correct.
Ooh.
Alright, cool.
Nice.
Hey!
Look at that. Successes. I like successes.
Woohoo.
Wow.
Extreme success.
Yes.
Nice.
What you got there, Larkin?
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Anyone who anyone who successfully made the spot hidden can also roll a hard language English or extreme education. Meaning if it says hard success or extreme success, you made it.
I have my own language at 70, so I'll roll that.
Okay.
If I speak English, can I roll
You
that?
roll, yeah, it's a skill on your sheet though. You may not have invested a lot of points into it.
Yeah.
Daniel,
Ooh,
look at
there
that,
it is.
nailed it.
Or education, you said?
Yeah, which would be an extreme to succeed.
Oh, right.
Daniel, and you can share this with the rest of them over drinks afterwards if you wish.
Sure.
His accent, even though he sounds English like Hazel, I'm not copying an English accent because I'm terrible at it. It's not. It's Kenyan. Let's
Okay.
see. From the spot hidden.
Larkins is Kenyan?
Yes. From the spot hidden.
So.
As he gets up to leave, and he's walking away, anyone who made a hard spot hidden realizes under the excessive cologne is a strange, sickly, sweet smell. It reminds you of something, but you can't quite put your finger on it, coming from him. To identify that smell after I give you the description, you can roll medicine. The veins on his wrists seem discolored, almost black, and there's some kind of large tattoo on his torso, but because he's wearing a dinner jacket, all you can see is it's generally circular in shape. And it's not malaria. Whatever this is does not have the symptoms of malaria from what you understand it to be. This seems more like medicine checks.
I wait for Larkin to leave before I share that with anybody else.
Okay.
I'm just like,
Versus 1. Look at you, Clive.
oh. I'm just like, you know that Larkin guy? He's a secret Kenyan.
Mr. Lombardi,
After you all roll medicine, you can also roll first aid for a little different information.
I was with the Foreign Legion in North Africa, and I can tell you that guy's not a Brit.
Curses.
Boo.
You cannot sense what the underlying ailment might be, but it's not
all those
malaria.
failures.
However,
Jeez.
beyond the underlying ailment, there's something else there. Withdrawal, maybe?
Drug use.
After Larkin excuses himself, and D. Mendoza helps him out of the bar, because he's apparently exhausted even though he was exuberant in talking. Hughes says, I'm so glad you decided to stay. I was going to invite you to have drinks with me after. Why don't you come to the bar? First round's on me.
Sure. Yeah.
I like free drinks.
After you bring yourselves to the bar, and the drinks are served to all of you, you're allowed to order for yourself now, Hazel. Hughes would never presume.
Yay.
He says, I have a confession to make, my friends. I get a good feeling from all of you, so I'm going to come clean so that we can be honest with each other. My name is not Hughes, it's Jackson. My name is Jackson Elias. Sean, make a... whatever your newspaper skill roll is. Whatever you chose it to be. Investigation or...
Interesting.
What did I choose?
history, maybe. Whatever you put points in that represents that you do a lot of investigating.
This guy is Jesse
Jackson
Elias
Jesse Hughes is not his real name.
No, I failed. Boo.
Name sounds familiar, but you can't remember why. He says, I really did write several books. Most well known was Sons of Death. And you all have heard of that in passing or read it because he exposed the modern day thuggies in India.
Oh.
So it's your pen name? Is Jesse Hughes your...
Oh no, I'm lying about who I am to Larkin because there's more than meets the eye to this expedition, and we must be cautious, my friends, because this is not what it seems. And I think there's a wider conspiracy here. I'm here to find the truth of this matter.
Well, I think you might be onto something, because Larkin, he's affable enough, but I mean, he's a little sketchy, yeah?
Absolutely. I could not tell Larkin who I truly was, because then he may have been tipped off my real motivations. I'm here to research the Karasiri death cult and the true goals of Larkin and D. Mendoza, because things seem suspicious. I'm sure you've heard of the Karasuri death cult, and you're all like, what?
Sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
From what I understand, the Karasuri are the local form of vampire, except instead of feeding on your blood, they feed on your fat. They suck your fat until you're nothing but a dried out husk.
It sounds like an American ploy to make money off of weight loss.
It does, doesn't it? However, this has been, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not thing. This has been a superstition in this region for centuries. And people here attribute at least a few deaths every few years to these. However, it seems recently there's been a sudden uptick in what the locals are calling Karasuri deaths.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find any of us believing in this superstitious nonsense.
No, I absolutely don't believe in vampires either, but I am here to find out the truth, as I did in India.
So you believe there's a cult somewhere in this area that is perpetrating these crimes to mimic this particular superstition?
A cult or other interested party that stands to benefit somehow, yes. Exploit the locals, maybe? I don't know.
And how would this tie in with the expedition of Mr. Larkin to the pyramid?
I used his expedition as an excuse to get myself here and into the region, and it seems that this pyramid may be connected to those old superstitions, but obviously upon talking to the man I immediately recognized something else is happening with him as well. Perhaps he's connected to all of this. Perhaps this is a scheme and a ploy by a rich person to become richer? I am unsure. Although I don't see how he gains from killing people and taking their fat.
I wouldn't know anything about a rich person wanting to become richer.
Everyone looks at Sydney.
I will not have this talk around me. We can speak of money later. No, character assassination at hand here.
You're rich?
Hi, no, yes.
I just can I borrow like a nickel? I just need to get a ride out of here.
Unfortunately, I don't carry cash on me.
Oh, okay. That's all right, brother.
I was going to say as I did whatever. Yeah, like of course I had
Jackson's
cash
like,
on me.
it'd be hard pressed to pay for anything with paper. With checks.
No. Perhaps later, Mr. Lombardi. I can find you a nickel.
Thank you, much obliged.
Mr.
Hughes.
Elias?
Jackson Elias. Yes, Jackson Elias.
Right, but I ask in a phrase of like Elias.
Mm-hmm.
Does he want me calling him that? Does he want me calling him Hughes? Like that's like
Hughes in front of Larkin or D. Mendoza. Otherwise, I am truly who I am, and so are you.
Yes, aren't we all who we say we are? Yes. Well, Mr. Elias, then I understand your want to finding the truth, and I appreciate your desire to do so. I, however, have no interest in some sort of superstition mystery investigation. I'm here for exploration of a ruin to further my archaeology and anthropology endeavors.
Well, then I'm sure you will also have your goals fulfilled, since we are going to find the pyramid and to figure out the truth of what is happening.
So does Hughes, does he think there's a connection with the death cult to Larkin, or is he just along for the ride so we can investigate that?
Allow me to lay out my suspicions for you. I have gotten some information, perhaps that you did not, in your brief time with Mr. Larkin. I understand that previously he tried to convince some of the locals in the nearby city of Puno to explore the pyramid, but was unable to find anyone willing to accompany him in search for it. That's why he hired all of you. Only foreigners would do this job. I also spoke to my good acquaintance, Professor Sanchez, at the Nacional University San Marcos. He very much wanted to join the expedition as a local expert, but Larkin refused him, and more than such, ignored his requests. Professor Sanchez believes he has some old documents and artifacts related directly to the site, but Larkin will hear none of it. I have an appointment to visit him tomorrow. Perhaps you'd like to come with me?
I certainly would.
Well, sure, yeah.
Speaking of which, I noticed you didn't ask Larkin, but We are to leave on the 21st. It means we have about a week here, in a few days. We'll be leaving early in the morning of Monday the 21st. I also know that when I was in Puno speaking to the locals, that I've been warned that D. Mendoza is in fact one of those Karasiri. He doesn't look like a vampire to me, he is a strange man, but there must be a reason they think he's some kind of killer.
I certainly didn't like him myself.
Nor did I.
You guys a vampire?
So what I believe then is that the two of them, Larkin and D. Mendoza, are probably involved with the cult that I wish to uncover. I don't know how this ties into the pyramid, but maybe it's the focus of their operations, maybe that's where they're basing themselves, maybe they're looting it to fund their operation. I do not know.
Vampire? He makes like the teeth like
Ridiculous, isn't it?
Unlikely a vampire, but perhaps they mean to dispatch us after we've retrieved the treasure.
Perhaps. Also, you'd be surprised the things cultists would delude themselves into believing. Such nonsense.
Holy...
Such nonsense.
So
Also, I know that there's more to this cult than just these two. I don't know how large it is, but from the amount of stories I've heard, I suspect there are dozens of them.
Call down to the bartender. Take a bulb of garlic.
Everyone looks at you judgmentally, except the bartender who just hands it to you.
Thanks. Fuck.
So, were we to be rather superstitious, how does one repel such a vampire?
Not a lot about that. Temporary pause.
I believe the answer for that would be cardiovascular exercise.
Wow, you're the worst.
Says the one who's less fit than me. Your character, not you.
He tells you, I am unsure because the information you hear is wild, varied, and nothing ever matches. But nothing like a traditional
Right.
vampire. You hear nothing about crosses, or garlic, or running water.
Hey, man.
or a nice juicy steak, right?
Perhaps if it's full of fat, and he laughs because he's making a joke.
So what do you hear it's them, or what are some of the rumors?
Sunlight kills them. Being fully immersed in acid kills them. Burning them with fire kills them. That would kill just about anything.
I was going to say, I believe
Beheading.
acid and the other. The only thing in that wouldn't kill anything would be sunlight, which even then,
Hey, bartender, can I get a couple of limes?
He gives you 2 limes.
I think I might have some moonshine left in my backpack. That might work against those vampires.
You brought moonshine to a bar.
I mean, I take it everywhere.
for emergencies, right?
Emergencies.
Please tell me it's listed in his backpack, like on his gear sheet.
It is now.
2 jugs moonshine.
Jackson also tells you, and also it is much less suspicious, but still suspicious, that they won't even stay at the same hotel as us. He said it's because he wanted us to have the finer accommodations and the hotel was full. But I asked for a second room and had no trouble in getting one.
Rather curious. Perhaps we should pay them a visit.
He just nods and drinks his whiskey.
Do we know where Larkin and D. Mendoza are staying?
Yes, they are staying at the Hotel España, which is about a 10-minute walk from here.
They got a bar?
No, it's more like a... This is out of character, this is not Jackson telling you this, but it's more like a... not a boarding house, hostel.
A hostel?
It's a small establishment. It's got 15 rooms maybe. It's 2 floors run by 1 person. Like a bed and breakfast, not a hostel. whereas the Hotel Mori is a massive multi-story establishment with a full staff.
Okay. What was the name of the professor that Elias was going to go see
Professor
tomorrow?
Sanchez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nemesio Sanchez of the
Nemesio.
Nacional University of San Marcos.
Okay.
Not,
Term-
at the expense of sounding very white, how do you spell the first name?
Nemesio.
Oh, I was right. Let me see.
Gracias. Perfecto.
Did we have any other leads than the Professor Sanchez and the Hotel España?
A minor lead might
Nothing
be
in
Ernesto
Lima.
Molo? The alpaca farm?
Ernesto
Since you
Molo,
found the
yeah.
dig
Yeah,
site,
you've got the people not in this city, yes.
We might want to talk to that alpaca farmer. I mean, who knows what he saw up there in those mountains, right?
Yeah, he said he's pretty far away, so
I was
Yes.
sorely
Maybe.
tempted to change it to llama farmer, so I could say llama a lot. Llama.
Lama Lima?
Llama.
Lama Lima.
Nom, 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 nom.
God damn it.
There's something wrong with the alpacas.
Yeah.
For those watching,
Yeah.
we highly recommend
Yeah.
you watch The Color Out of Space starring Nicolas Cage. There's something
Good.
wrong with the alpacas.
Oh my
Never
god.
look at
I
an
know what you're
alpaca
talking
again.
about.
I promise you that.
The alpaca are fine. Everything's fine.
They live in the well now.
Perfectly
Is it
They
the
live in well.
apocalypse?
fine.
Watch it and
just-
find out, but don't watch it
Yeah,
while
I'm
you're
gonna let
eating.
you find that one out.
Not while
Oh.
eating.
No.
You know what? The alpaca make it. They're fine.
Oh,
It's
okay, good.
Everybody's fine.
Thanks. I needed that.
Nothing bad happens to the alpaca.
Out of character, who showed us the pendant with the dude with the two rods and like the
Larkin.
cup?
He showed you the
Okay.
pendant and the cup with the strange geometrical shapes on it.
He
They-
took those with him, I imagine.
Yes, the alpaca. They would be in his hotel room. The alpaca farmer, his grandson, apparently gave them to him.
Does Elias, do you know anything about the medallion and statue that Larkin showed us?
They are definitely indigenous to this area, 15th century or older, I would guess. But their design is unlike anything from here. So, like the religious ideals or the style is different, but it's obviously made locally.
Would you recognize what they might be alluding to?
I do not. It is outside what I recognize.
Sanchez would probably know, right?
He seems to have some ideas, at least of the pyramid. Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Caldwell,
Yeah.
did you by chance happen to take a picture while that statue was present?
Yeah. I'll have to develop the film tonight, but sure. Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
It was
We
on the
could
table
vis-
a couple times when I took a couple pictures. So
If we can visually present that evidence to Professor Sanchez, perhaps he could better inform us of any connections it has with the on.
tell you what, I'll get on that now,
Okay.
and then I'll see you in the morning.
Your presence is already paying dividends.
You could. You continue. You finish your drinks, and have a pleasant conversation with Jackson, who is a very likable person.
Why, Mr. Caldwell, I've never seen you so clever.
Thanks for the drinks, Jax.
Do you all head to your room when you're done? Do you all head to your room to sleep when you're done, or is there something else you would like to do in the dead of night
I
in
would-
Lima?
Vampires.
Am I staying in the same hotel as these guys?
Yes.
Yeah, you're staying in the
Okay,
nice
good.
hotel with us, which is infuriating.
He rolled a critical
Wow.
failure.
No. Destroys the
Wow.
film!
All of our faces are blanked out, and it looks like the creepiest photo of all time.
I do not require you to make
Only
a
the
roll
negatives
to develop the
survive.
pictures you already took. That was
How?
unnecessary. You're fine.
That would be
That is
amazing.
fantastic.
Only game, the
That is
only
the-
dice roller
Wow.
That is the curse of Nyarlathotep, man.
Every time we play this game, shit like that happens.
Someone had to
Had a
absorb my
knife
husband's
in his heel.
roles. It's just how it is.
Absolutely, I would say so, yes.
So Sean's normally like the great roller in the group, and Eric's the one that kills us.
Not in this. Not
True
this.
Not
story.
in this game.
Y'all want to do anything before heading to your rooms for the night?
Well, Hazel, would you be interested in walking the town with me a little bit? Walk
I
off
would
dinner?
love to.
What about Sydney and Daniel?
I'm a stranger here, or Daniel is better, so he probably doesn't want to go anywhere he's not familiar with.
Who's Daniel?
Me, my character.
Oh,
You can meet the local hobos.
He'll just introduce himself to everybody, like, oh, by the way, they call me Greasy Dan, but you can just call me Dan.
So Dan won't go with them unless he's invited. Okay. What about Sydney?
Well, I'm gonna walk the
You're
town
Sydney,
with
sorry.
Hazel.
What about Clive? My bad.
no, I'm gonna stay at the bar, drink myself stupid, and develop some pictures.
Okay.
And
Haze-
that's where the Nat 1 comes in.
Hazel and Sydney, you go walking the streets. What would you like to do while you walk the streets of Lima?
So, out of character, Sarah, I think what we kind of want to do is, do we want to act like we're kind of walking around, but make our way to the Hotel España and find out maybe what Larkin's up to in secret?
Oh, heck yes.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, so we'll do an after-dinner walk, strolling down whatever main road runs through this part of town. Do we know how to get to the hotel?
It is easy to find directions. Jackson gives you directions and it's easy to spot the landmarks.
Perfect.
You arrive. As you wander through the town, it is a dark and pleasant evening. You are in an unfamiliar place though, and you do feel alone even though you're in a crowd of people. You're not familiar with the language or the customs, but the sights and smells are slightly jarring, but otherwise, it seems a pleasant enough place. Seems like there's some ominous weather on the horizon though. There's a storm coming.
Oh no.
You arrive at the Hotel España. It's a small establishment. Looks like you count 12 rooms split over 2 floors. It's on the corner of a busy street of shops. It's quieting down as the day ends. There is no reception desk, although in the foyer there's a small white-haired woman in a woolen shawl carrying a broomstick around. You are outside.
I go and introduce myself to the lady and let her know we're looking around at different hotels to stay.
Ah yes, you want room? I am Petronilla. I have rooms. I have 4 rooms. Good price.
Not at the moment, but we'd love to get a look at them and see if we'd rather transfer from our hotel to here, if you wouldn't mind.
You want to see room?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Americans are strange. She doesn't say American, she recognizes your accent. British are strange, but yes, show you room. Come, come. Sydney, you see Hazel disappear deep into the hotel with the old lady. You're still outside.
I will look into the front. Is there a lobby? Is there a desk?
There's a reception area, but not a proper lobby. It's just the old lady sitting on a couch who invites people in.
Okay. And she's now walked Hazel up to
An empty
look at
room.
rooms.
The
Okay.
You're
interior of the
welcome.
hotel is decorated in a very eccentric manner. The walls are painted in bright primary colors and covered with paintings and photographs. The common area is filled with a eclectic selection of statues, plants, and artwork. That's what you see.
Okay. Do they have a ledger book on the desk?
Looks like oil lamps in this hotel. Oh, ledger. I thought you said electric. Wow.
No.
She does, in fact, have a guest book with people signing.
An electric book.
An electric book. Does she have a Kindle?
Electric book? What nonsense is this?
Shocking.
Yes. Okay, so I will go into the main area and check the front desk and try to scan the ledger and see if I can see who is in what room.
How about a stealth check? Easy,
Oh, no.
because she's upstairs.
Well,
Look at that.
roll
Don't forget
100
to
then.
check your successes.
Wow, look at that.
You find out that the room that D. Mendoza and you find out the room number for D. Mendoza and the room number for Larkin. They are separate but connected.
Okay.
You could. They're both on the upper floor. If you go up there, you're not sure if you will have to sneak past Hazel and the innkeep or not. If you're worried about it and you're feeling athletic, all the second floor rooms have balconies too.
Okay. Is it only 2 floors?
Yes.
Okay, so they're on the top floor. Cool. Is there a open room next to one of their adjoining rooms?
Luck roll. No luck points spent, just luck roll.
Dun dun dun.
Wow.
You can't tell if it's empty or not. The lights are off, but the curtains are drawn.
Okay. And you, I wouldn't be able to see what rooms are available using the ledger.
You could. It's
Probably not numbered.
spot hidden, or spend 3 luck points.
Whoa.
Okay, I was actually going to ask, can I spend luck points on a luck roll?
Not on a luck roll, but I can have you spend a set amount to make things go your way. 3 luck points if you wish.
Or spot hidden?
Yes. To decipher the ledger and spend more time in the lobby.
I will spend the 3 luck. I've got luck to spare. And 3 seems.
You remember with your quick-witted rich guy.
It goes real fast, I know.
You remember with your quick-witted rich guy brain that there was a room across the hall that's open, and you remember the room numbers.
Okay. And I remember the room number. Okay, perfect. Across. Okay, that should be enough then.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I will wait in the area for Hazel.
So you're gonna wait outside.
Oh, I mean, can I just wait in the front area?
Yeah, you're not gonna try to sneak to the room, though.
No.
Okay. Hazel, she shows you the room. Brightly colored with primary colors and gaudily decorated as well. You make pleasant small talk with the lady and return to the waiting area where Sydney is waiting for you.
Thank you very much, Signora, for showing me the room. I think perhaps we shall browse a few more and let you know later if we decide on this one.
Yes, you come back. Best hotel.
I'll hold the door open for Hazel as we leave.
Okay. You are now outside in the street.
That was excellent distraction, Hazel. Thank you very much for doing so. I was able to go with quite a bit of information. Ledger.
You are very welcome.
This is in fact where Mr. Larkin and Mr. De Mendoza are staying. They have adjoining rooms. If we wish, we might be able to secure ourselves a room across the hall from them, and perhaps spend the evening investigating.
Perhaps you may spend your evening investigating, but I think I will go back to the hotel and let my dignity remain intact.
Miss Murphy, you have no interest in spending the...
You cut out the last part of that
no, cut out.
Miss Murphy, you have no interest in spending the evening with me at a city hotel?
No, I'm afraid not, but you might be able to talk Daniel into it.
Oh my.
I'm a mechanic, not a detective.
Such is the curse.
Damn it, Jim.
Very well, Miss Murphy. Perhaps we should make our way back to the hotel.
I would like that very much, thank you.
You return to the hotel. Daniel and Clive. Daniel's a vet, so he looks like he's more relaxed, but like
Much more relaxed.
he could drink a dwarf under the table. However, Clive is 6 sheets to the wind now.
Fuck
6.
yeah, he is.
Not 3.
And how does Clive act?
Clive is dancing with some random person while he's trying to take pictures with his other hand, even though that's not how cameras work.
That's not how cameras work.
Hey, let me help you with that. I could probably figure it out.
Do not touch my camera.
It's okay.
No, don't touch it.
If you're looking for a partner in crime, it's definitely Daniel and not Clive.
Or it's Clive. You ever just signed a
No.
drunk man on a situation?
Don't touch it.
You just keep dancing. You just push the button, right?
No, don't touch my camera. It's my camera. Mine. Don't touch it. No.
I see they get along well without us.
Oh man.
Did Jackson already retire for the evening?
Oh no, he's very entertained by you two.
Okay.
He's just sitting there at the bar smoking his pipe and chuckling.
Okay. Hey, listen, you didn't. You know anything about any other people that used to work for this guy Larkin before we came along? Because he told me a buddy of mine was supposed to come here and do some work for him, but he got all shell-shocked and he ended up in some institution. I was wondering if anybody had come, were the replacements for somebody else.
I do know he did make one foray into the Highlands before this one to gather information. He had a similar group of 5 people with him for that too. I don't know what happened to any of them.
You know any of the names?
No, I could not find that information. He kept that to himself.
I'm guessing, what's his name? That weirdo.
Oh yes,
Mendoza?
D. Mendoza is definitely always with him when he's in country.
I gotta ask him. Maybe he knows what happened to Charlie.
So,
I find
did
that
you
rather
two,
suspicious.
he turns to you two. Did you two enjoy your walk to perhaps a different hotel?
What are you implying?
That you're spying on Larkin. Did you learn anything useful? Oh,
We
do not,
did,
do not, do
actually.
not worry, my dear. I automatically assume you have higher standards than that.
I do, thank you. We did find out which room he was staying in, thanks to Sydney's impressive sleuthing skills and my ability to distract.
Excellent.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Lombardi, perhaps you would accompany me to a new hotel, one perhaps a little bit closer to your likings.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
You two head back out, leaving Hazel in the capable hands of the wildly drunk Clive.
Oh crap.
You chose poorly. Okay.
Oh no.
and Jackson.
And Jackson. Daniel and Sydney, you arrive back at the Hotel España. Daniel, same description I gave them.
All right, Sid. So what's up with this hotel, huh?
Well, first, I will explain on the way to the hotel. Like this, so, Mr. Lombardi, this is where Mr. Larkin and Mr. De Mendoza are staying. They have adjoining rooms on the 2nd floor, and as Mr. Elias has indicated, there seems to be some suspicious activity heading on. And while I am no investigator and have no means and no motive to get caught up in these sort of investigations, my life, of course, is on the line with this man, and I have no interest in coming to this country and leaving empty-handed and or dead. So I would like to know more information if possible. And I assume a man of your status is one to use subterfuge from time to time. Is that a correct assumption?
I served in the Legion. I didn't serve on a submarine.
Nice.
I don't know what you're talking about, Sid.
Mr. Lombardi, I'll be a little bit frank if I must. You have been known
Are
to...
you Frank or are you Sid? Which one is it?
Perhaps, Mr. Lombardi, I will be more direct. Have you, in any chance, used guild sneakiness or?
Oh, you want me to eavesdrop on?
Yes, perhaps dropping some eaves on the people who we are unsure of have our true allegiances would be called for. I can secure us a room across the hall from theirs, hopefully against their knowledge, that we can then use to gain proximity.
Yeah, sure. I could listen to him. Sure, just set me up, boss.
At this point in time, I just wish to inform you you are not in my employ.
Whatever you say, boss. Yeah, sure. By the way, you got a nickel?
Perhaps there will be change at the hotel, and I can provide you with it that time.
All right. Sounds like a deal.
Also, I've heard that sometimes there are just nickels on the.
I know I find them sometimes, but it doesn't hurt to ask, right?
You headed to the hotel. Ladies,
Okay.
ah yes, you come back. Best hotel in city. Could not persuade women, bring man. I not ask.
Yeah. He's my boss, okay? I just do what I'm told.
Oh.
We appreciate your handedness, Senorita.
Yes.
Yes.
6 souls
One room
for the week.
Yes, for the week. And 6 souls is
$2.
I got a couple centavos. If you take those.
She counts them and tells you the amount she still needs.
Oh, hey, boss.
Yes, Mr. Lombardi. I of course will pick up the tab for the remaining ode, and then I'll pay for the week.
Okay.
Eric, I feel like your guy would call him cheap.
Chief, you're right. Here you go, Chief. Pick up the tab now for us here. By the way, does anybody have a car around here?
You've
Or
seen
is it
like
just this
one.
Mendoza
You've
guy?
seen 1 or 2, not many. Not as prevalent
believe-
here as in Europe or in North America.
Unless there seems to be a voice on the wind disproving this fact, I believe I've actually been able to bring transportation to this country.
You
Oh,
could have.
good, yay.
And if
all
you,
right.
and if for some reason you did bring a modern car, everyone would be staring at it and touching it because the cars that are here are the pre-Model Ts with the open top, giant steering wheel, hand crank. They're 5 or 10 years behind here.
Then, actually, just to kind of clarify this, maybe not a modern car, but have I been able to secure like a truck that one might be able to use in the jungle on the jungle
Oh,
roads?
if you mean for that, nobody asked Larkin, but he already has taken care of all of that. You don't have to use any of your money.
Okay. But, you know what? I remember talking about this before. I absolutely brought my car, because I'm just douchey enough to always bring my car with me. That's also why I secure Hazel services at all times.
And your car could be a truck in this case. If you think you're going out of the city, I don't care. If you
Nah,
Okay.
I'll have a rich dude's car, because I'm a rich dude. That's my status. Symbol. I'll have it parked. So
Look
I'll
how
have it parked
fancy this
back at
car
the-
is. The seats have
Yeah.
padding and glass on the
Wow.
windows.
Yes, it is back at the hotel, but I do in fact have transportation. I will pay for the room, and I will specifically ask for the empty room across the hall from their rooms.
Ah, yes. Most quiet room. You not disturb guests with debauchery. Yes, yes.
Correct. Yes.
What's a debauchery?
Mr. Lombardi, I believe it transfers to activities.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we're gonna be doing a secret activity.
Yes.
Yes,
It's just me,
I keep secret. Not worry.
Yes, perfect. And you can go ahead and put that down. Does she need a name?
She doesn't look at your IDs or anything. Whatever name you put in the ledger is what she accepts.
Yeah.
I
This is
just
an
put it
era.
down
This is
under
an era
greasy.
where people are honorable, typically.
Yeah, I give her. I don't know. Norman Smiley.
Norman Smiley, it is.
I was gonna go with Greasy D. They'll never figure that one out.
She questions nothing. This is a very Catholic country, so you know.
Right. Okay.
Alright.
You
Spend
get
the rest
your
of my
room.
night like
You settle in.
listening. Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I want to listen in when I get an opportunity. Just kind of like look, just do the typical thing where like I look out into the hallway across their room to their rooms and see if the light is on, and if it's on, and then I go over there and I lean in and listen or something. Or I don't think these kind of buildings have like a fire escape or anything like that that I could utilize to just
Not in
kind
this
of like
era.
during the windows or anything. So yeah, I would kind of imagine I'd have no choice really just to like listen at the doorway as I'm going pacing up and down the hallway.
Which one are you more interested in, or equal treatment to both rooms?
I feel like I won't understand anything the Mendoza would be talking about because I don't speak his language, but I think Larkin would be the one that I'd be eavesdropping in on the most, I think.
Moaning and muttering, tossing and turning, sleeping fitfully if he's sleeping at all. Nightmares?
Yeah.
That's Larkin's room. You don't have to roll to hear through the door. It's a paper thin hotel.
Does he mention anything? Do I hear anything like specific that he calls out? Like in the middle of the night?
Nothing
when he's
legible,
crossing
but
the-
he does cry out like once or twice. Like whatever it is he's dreaming about or that's bothering him, it gets a little intense at moments.
No names? Nothing like that?
Nothing you recognize, because when he does cry out, it sounds like it might be in Kenyan, which you don't understand.
Fuck.
They could be words, they could be names.
I try to memorize it as best as I can. Like, okay, he said, kabubalaba. Okay, got it.
Make a knowledge roll. Just straight. Perhaps you will recall
Knowledge
these
is
names.
intelligence?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
A no roll. Should be a no roll, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, sorry. No is int.
Oh.
Yes, a no roll is int. You're good.
Oh, fuck. I messed that one up. Okay. That is 70.
You pick up a few words, but not all the words.
I think Roll 20 is in a bad mood tonight.
It's just
No,
like
we're playing
you're gonna roll
Cthulhu,
high.
my friend.
That's it. You're rolling high.
That's what it is.
You do pick
go
up
to-
a
I
few
go to-
other
Whatever you
words
need,
that maybe
15 more.
may come up later on in future parts of this story, but not all the words.
Sure, okay. I go to eavesdrop on Mendoza after I see that he's just, fitfully sleeping and crying out in his
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Alright.
Or wait, do we have listen? Sorry.
There is listen.
Roll listen is
Yes.
what I want. Sorry. Stuck
Not
in
so
that
hot.
stuck in
It's
that
alright,
fantasy
though.
mode
Hey!
where it's all
You
one.
Yeah.
At
got
first you think it's just quiet, but then you realize as you listen real close, he's not in there. It's empty.
Oh.
The hell? I check the door to see if it's unlocked.
It is in fact locked. It's a simple looking lock though.
I try to open it.
Roll it.
Let's see here.
This will be an easy roll.
Oh, this is locksmith, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
You took that, didn't you?
I did not.
Oh.
I
The
did.
drunk
A
man
little
does
bit.
locksmith.
I'm just like, what the hell? Kick.
Yes, you can in fact force the lock. Do you want to force it the loud way or the quiet way?
I'll try doing it the quiet way first.
Dexterity roll.
Oh, interesting. All right. Nope.
Do you wanna
Roll 20 said no.
You want to get your partner to help, or do you want to do it the loud way? If you do it the
I'll
loud
get-
way, you're gonna have a second before the lady gets up there.
I go over to the stairwell, whatever, and I motion for Steady to come up. Like, hey, Chief, come on! I need your help up here.
Like, brought you for a reason. Okay, then I go help him.
Dexterity roll, or if you have it, locksmith.
No.
Oh, look at that! You managed to get a very stiff piece of cardboard and force it in between the door and the bolt comes loose because this is an old door.
Mm-hmm.
You bring a brigand to break a door, and you have to do it yourself.
He says that?
The door
I'll have you know I'm not a thief.
The door pops open. This room is antiseptically neat. No personal effects, no toiletries, no changes of clothes on display. The bed neatly made has not been slept in.
What the heck? He ain't here.
Is there a closet?
I start
Yes.
searching the room.
I specifically go look in the closet.
A few changes of the exact same style of old, threadbare but neat clothing. A change of shoes. Nothing else.
I noticed that there's no search skill on
Spot
here.
hidden covers that.
Okay. I start like looking under the bed and just looking for anything that might be of interest.
Spot hidden.
Can I assist him in spot hidden just as a this?
Yes.
Boom. Got it.
Okay. Well, he got a success, so I go
Okay.
to help him with that.
You don't need to since you got a success, but yes.
How does Keeper? How does assisting work in this game?
That's what I was about to tell you.
Would you like to know more?
Would you like to know more?
I'm gonna pull that
The
up
more
for
you
when it
know.
actually does come up. That's the one thing that's not on my quick sheet.
And this is called a teachable moment for the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I'm
if
guessing
only you
it
guys
works like
had those
advantage, like
lime.
an extra D10.
You could put the lime juice in his shoes and irritate his skin.
What?
You're supposed to put the lime in the coconut, obviously.
And then drink it all down.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, you're a sick man.
Go back to drinking and trying to take a picture.
Why would
This
you
guy's
put
a vampire. You know?
You're just trying to give him athlete's foot with a lime?
No.
Smelly feet, that's
Kill
what
him with the
I'll
lime. Shit.
The lime attracts coronavirus because you're supposed to put lime in corona.
Assisting.
Damn, I don't even know what to say to that.
Assisted rolls affect the difficulty if there's a difficulty modifier. So, for each PC assisting, deduct your skill value from the opposing value, starting with the lowest first. Continue until the opposing value can be challenged by any single PC. Any PC who did not contribute to the skill roll, who did not contribute to the assist, may make skill rolls versus the opposing skill value. So, in the case of the lock, it doesn't directly correlate. The way I usually do that is what I would continue doing in this game, which would be, if he succeeds on the roll, he can give you, what do you call it? Bonus or penalty die to your roll.
Okay.
But if there was a set DC, like this was extremely hard, and he rolled and succeeded, he would reduce it to hard for your roll.
Got it. Okay. Alright. Well, Mr. Lombardi has searched the room.
Anything?
You realize the balcony isn't just open to let the breeze in. That's how he left.
He left from the balcony. How high up are we?
Second floor. Straight down to concrete pavement.
I look down and I'm like,
No rope, no climbing device, no stairs.
what did this guy do? He just jumped out the window?
I mean, it's not more than 30 feet or so, I imagine. While
Oh
not...
yeah, sure. You could jump out the window and not have any problems, right? Right, Chief?
While not the preferred method out, I mean, if he's trying to...
Something odd about that guy.
Quite so, that is correct.
I didn't find anything of use, like any maps or any writings or anything like that in his room. Weapons.
Antiseptically clean.
Damn it.
Nothing but those few changes of clothes. It's like he has the room but doesn't really use the room. It's very odd.
guy doesn't sleep in this room at all. Come on, let's go.
You gonna try to sneak into the room of the man sunk deep into nightmares?
No, that's
Or,
not a good idea. I don't
since
think.
you're in this room, maybe you could just cross to the other balcony.
Oh, okay. Well, would that be strength?
Climb, probably.
Climb roll.
Not jumping. Climb. Oh no.
Mr. Lombardi, if you will, please keep guard as close as possible. Also, do try to tidy up a little bit, just to make sure that there's no questions in regard to our presence here. As you can see, this man is a bit of a clean freak. I trust you know how to clean. This is a
Yeah,
horrible
of
idea.
course.
Look how clean I am.
This is a horrible idea. I will go to the balcony and attempt to swing across and climb across.
Hey, where you going?
Do it. Roll that climb.
Mr. Lombardi, if you will, please.
I start to tidy up as best
Okay.
as I can. Stand by, ready to collect my
Would you like
warrior
to-
here.
Son of a
You have,
bitch.
you have 3 choices
Oh.
here. Take the failure, spend 19 luck points to succeed, or push the roll.
Oh
Push
my!
it. Push it. Push that roll.
Push it to
You
the
cannot
limit.
spend luck points on the push roll. It is what it is when you roll it.
Push that roll.
I'll
Push
push
it
it.
hard.
You leap to the other balcony. You miss. You flail blindly and hope to grab on with your hand. Oh, look at that! You catch that balcony with 3. You catch that balcony.
Daniel's just like,
with your rock star
holy
fingers
shit!
and pull yourself up.
Get back up onto the balcony and straighten my waistcoat and tie.
Stealth roll.
And this is where I fuck it up. I swear.
You want to push this one? How you feeling?
Hold on a second. Larkin. I kind of shuffle out of the room and just kind of quietly shut the door, put my ear to Larkin's door, and just
Still
listen.
sounds like he's sound asleep.
Okay. Because if he wakes up, I got something.
Okay.
I'm committed. I'm here. I have to push the roll.
You stumble over something. You're gonna catch yourself before you hit the glass door. However, he's sleeping real soundly. Bonus dice to the push roll.
Okay, so
Nice.
I do push roll.
I guess
Oh no!
What the fuck?
But,
Are you
but,
serious?
But I get a bonus die. You said, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Better roll a 1.
that reduces it.
That makes it 54 or a 24. That's what that does.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, what's your thing? What you got?
Wait, no, wait.
Well,
hold on.
yeah, go ahead.
What's up, Steve?
I'm trying to understand that. It's a
Bonus die gives you a reroll of the tens place.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you would have needed a 1.
Yes.
So if this causes a calamity, like, it makes a lot of noise.
You hear a
I
large
immediately
thump.
start pounding on the door. You know, if I hear him waking up.
You hear a large thump. You start pounding on the door. Larkin does not wake up. However, you alerted the old lady.
Ah.
The old lady comes
I go,
charging up the stairs going, "You leave other guests alone," and starts whacking you with her broom.
I use fast talk. I'm like, I'm sorry, I was in war. I was having a nightmare. Goodness.
She's whacking you real hard. He's taking that critical failure for you, Steve. Sydney, you are unnoticed by the lady.
señorita.
Hold on, Eric, because that's an actual thing, and we're gonna roll it.
Would she have whacked him with the broom or her sandal?
Stand by. You're about to see.
Let that attack. Dodge against that.
You ready? Here it comes. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
She fails to
wow.
intimidate you.
Nice.
Small little lady, big, tall.
Give me that fast talk.
I already rolled it. I failed. I rolled it.
Okay.
60.
You hear them going at it in the hallway, but Lombardi is leading her away from the room.
Yeah, I'm trying to like. I'll put. Should I push the roll?
Yes.
So,
I mean, it seems like you've got the situation mostly under control right now, right?
I'm
totally
taking
up
the
to
brunt
you.
of it.
Eric, you should push it.
Push
Really?
it real good.
Push
Yeah.
it.
Got it. Extreme
There it is.
success.
Look at that.
Yeah!
I was like, I'm so sorry, Senorita. I was having a nightmare. I was back in the trenches. You understand?
You say,
Extreme.
you're like, how can I make it up to you? I'll do anything. And she says, anything? Yes, you come, yes. She brings you down into her, where she's got a set of rooms. She sits you down in a chair, pulls out 3 or 4 giant volumes of old-timey pictures and things pasted into it. It's a family scrapbook. She begins. You're going to be here for hours.
Oh,
Showing you her family album.
She's a lonely old lady.
She needs love.
I'll take it. I thought the alternative would have been much worse, I'm sure. Oh, okay, that's very interesting, ma'am.
Every time you try to get up, waves broomstick threateningly.
She sends me back down. Now look at this one.
Sydney,
Oh.
you are in the room. In contrast, this room is chaos. It is unpleasant, with suitcases spilling soiled clothing all over, personal effects covering almost every surface. The air in the room here reeks of sweat and sick, mixed with that sickly sweet smell which you identify, rotten meat. He's on his bed. The sheets of the bed are soaked with oily perspiration. Make a spot hidden roll.
Deep one. Oh no, space vampire. He's a space vampire.
No good at this game. Oh my god.
You notice a bottle of liquid on the nightstand, and I mean like a bottle of liquid.
Okay.
You pick it up.
Yeah, I'll
It's
check
got
it
a
out.
Spanish word on it. Heroina. You're like
No,
heroina.
drug use.
Heroin. Oh.
Now I have other language Spanish.
Yes, you figure it out.
Ah, I'm very smart.
That is a very large bottle of heroin. That's why you didn't wake him up.
I see.
But even though he's drugged out on heroin, he is thrashing around and having terrible nightmares. There's more than enough heroin in that bottle to kill 3 of him.
See, I knew it. Dan he can recognize a junkie.
Um,
Now the question then becomes, do I pocket this?
then he'd know you were in the room, but you could. Well, he would know someone was in the room.
He
would know someone was in the room.
And Hazel would be very disappointed in you.
Who
Well, not
says we
for
tell
my
you?
own use, but to take it away from him. No, Mr. Rockwell.
Really weird intervention.
I will leave the heroin for the heroin addict. Okay.
Probably just needs it to sleep.
Also, in his bed, he is only wearing his sleeping pants, and he thrashes around. Make another spot.
Can I
hidden
see his?
roll.
I was gonna say, can I see his tattoo?
You do see it.
Sorry.
That's okay. The spot hidden. Failures don't necessarily mean you fail at everything. It means you might miss subtle things.
Okay.
But you do see the tattoo. It resembles a large, ragged spiral that covers his entire chest, radiating out from the center of his sternum. The spiral ends above his diaphragm, where it connects to a stylized, misshapen humanoid figure with large, outstretched hands that appear to end in claws. It's very disturbing, very lifelike.
Cthulhu tramp stamp.
He's the Wendigo.
Psychology.
It's a Cathamp stamp, thank you very much.
Oh, no,
Stamp,
not
stamp.
psychology, sorry. He's sleeping. My bad.
Okay. So I now want to look. Going off of what Daniel had said earlier, I want to see if I can go through some of these papers, looking for anything of interest, but specifically, I am curious if he has brought anyone else in before us, and if there was any documentation of people that he has done this with.
The OG guinea pigs for this expedition.
You mean the Kui?
Yeah.
You find some basic information about what he did before this. Something about the Carlisle expedition, sailing from New York in 1919. led by a young Roger Carlyle, a millionaire playboy, who inexplicably turned from the life of a wastrel to fund and lead an archaeological expedition to Egypt.
Using history, do I know anything else about the Carlisle expedition?
Make me a history roll. Look at that.
Hey-yo!
The Carlisle expedition.
Rock hard.
Uh,
Rockwell hard. Bam.
let's see. I gotta be careful here.
Choose your words
Guys,
carefully.
I think I stumbled onto all the information we're gonna ever need, and I have to make sure we don't get the whole plot.
Short-circuited scenario.
We're obviously the best Call of Cthulhu players.
Right. We're the best.
The expedition consisted of the Roger Carlyle, Sir Aubrey Penhew, a titled wealthy and noted Egyptologist. You don't have to write this down because I will give it to you again later. Hypatia Masters, a beautiful society girl, accomplished photographer and linguist. Jack Brass Brady, a mercenary soldier, a weapons expert, and Indiana Jones fanatic. And Carlyle's confidant and bodyguard. And lastly, Dr. Robert Houston, fashionable psychoanalyst and interpreter of dreams. They departed for Egypt, and after a time in Egypt, they departed for Kenya. And in 1920, in Kenya, all trace of the expedition seems to have disappeared.
Kenya, you say?
Okay.
The expedition members have been declared dead by the world at large.
Okie doke.
They're gone.
He doesn't have a journal, as it were, but you do find some notes scratched around here and there, and it just says nonsense. Like, it doesn't make any sense to you. It's like I can hear him. He is everywhere. My mind is not my own. Who am I? The damned bloody tongue.
So
Stuff
this
like
guy's
that.
So this guy's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay. Cool.
Egon has gone bye-bye.
Okay, so I've looked him over. I found some notes here. Guys, help me out. Anything else I should be looking?
I mean, he's a collective curiosity, so anything that he may look like figures or...
You can see if he's got the artifacts.
Yeah,
He
I
did
was
not
about to say,
find
does he have
them.
the artifact?
That was one of those failed rolls.
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's got too much shit everywhere, and you know you can't spend a lot of time in here. You don't find them quickly.
Okay. Alright. Then... Yeah, I failed that spot hidden, so I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff because of that. But I got information on the Carlisle expedition. I guess now would be a good time to not press my luck and try to make a quick escape.
You successfully slip out across the balcony and back into the empty room, and thus back into your own room, where
Okay.
2 hours later, an exhausted and jittery-looking hobo arrives. So many scrapbooks.
I have seen many things, but I never seen so many pictures in my life.
As you cross back into the
Sacrifice
empty
will be
room,
remembered.
though, one more spot hidden as you cross back into the empty room.
Okay.
Sydney.
Peace.
Of course.
Oh!
There's a shadow.
Spot hidden,
There's
my
a
friend.
shadowy,
Oh, man.
there's a shadowy figure in the street, just standing there, staring across the street towards the hotel. When you turn and notice it, it disappears into an alley.
Oh god.
Shit.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing at all.
Everything's fine.
All right, cool.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Do you stay in this hotel, or do you go back to the nicer one? And if you stay in this one, are you careful to not be seen by those two, or do you want them to know you're there?
So the 2 hours have now passed. Like, for real?
Yes.
Kind of, okay. Once he makes his way back, are we... Like, we're 2 or 3 hours past dinner
Midnight-ish.
time now, so about... Yeah, okay. I'll ask him, I'm like, so Mr. Lombardi, I appreciate you distracting, once again, the innkeeper for our continued investigations. I do not know if Mr. Caldwell and Miss Murphy will be up at this hour. Would you like to spend the evening here or at the finer establishment?
I think I'd rather go to the other hotel. It's much nicer. And also, this lady started showing me her entire family history. I think she thinks we're close now.
Well, I wouldn't want to deprive you of a newfound friendship.
Yeah, that's very kind. I think I'm gonna be going out the back door, though.
I see. Well, then perhaps I'll join you.
All right. Nice and quiet, like, yeah?
Yes.
The next morning, you all meet up for breakfast, and by morning I mean it's like noon, and Clive still looks like shit at noon. There's 4 empty coffee cups around him and a plate that used to be bacon, and he still looks like shit.
You gonna eat that, man? You gonna eat that, brother?
The rest of you enjoy a normal light breakfast. Your appointment is at 2 at the Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology at the National University of San Marcos.
I'm just
Because
eating
I'm
the
terrible
biggest
at-
loaf of bread.
I'm going to put it in Discord for you because I'm terrible at Spanish, but that's the actual name of it.
Mayor de San Marcos National
Thank you.
University. Yep. Cool.
All right.
So what'd you find out from our mysterious friend in the hotel there, Chief?
Oh, I apologize. Good morning, everybody. I'm thankful you're all up before the appointment. Particularly you, Mr. Caldwell. I see that you've done well for yourself. Miss Murphy, after you left, me and Barty did relocate to the other hotel, in which case we were able to find some interesting information. One,
You use so many words to say the
Right?
smallest thing. I have a
1920s rich
headache
white person.
this big, and you talk so much.
I see.
I'm glad it
apologize.
wasn't just me that did that. Yeah, thank you.
I apologize, Mr. Caldwell, for using words to communicate ideas. How inappropriate of me.
Sometimes I gotta sit you down and teach you the hobo code. You can say a lot of things with just a couple little drawings.
So many words.
Mr. Caldwell, I'm sure you've written your fair share of words. Are you not paid by the word?
Oh, snap.
My words are great. Yours are long.
Mr. Lombardi was able to make a friend yesterday at the hotel, who appeared to share with him quite some family secrets and details. Unfortunately, not relevant to our current predicament.
Again, words.
Specifically, I was able to find
Those that ain't human.
Mr. de Mendoza is an odd fellow. I'm not sure that we're going to say he's not human. Again,
you
that
needed
would
to
be.
break into his living room to figure that out.
Let me put it to you this way, Chief. His door was locked, but his balcony was not. He's 2 stories up in this building. That ain't normal. People don't just jump out the windows to leave their house,
Are we suggesting vampires?
I don't know
Really?
what we're suggesting. I'm just saying that guy ain't normal. Maybe
I
don't know.
I feel that it's quite a leap to say vampire at this time. It's just strictly a odd fellow who decided to leave his hotel through the window of the second floor rather than the front door. Also, it appears as though he never has quite settled into his room. It is spotless, with very few personal attachments, but a few sparing changes of clothes in the closet. Other than that, untouched, even so far as the bed has not been slept in quite some time. Obviously, Mr. de Mendoza does not keep his nights at his residence.
If we are judging by strangeness and a neat room, not many of us are very free of guilt.
This is true. However, I would say that is in stark contrast to visit to our friend Mr. Larkin, and I kind of look around just to make sure he's not like standing.
He is not. You do
not
not
to
see him
spread-
at all today. He apparently is indisposed. You don't see
Not to-
Mendoza either.
Not to spread rumors amongst about the people around us, but unfortunately, I believe Mr. Larkin might be a heroin addict.
Didn't Hughes? Where's Hughes?
Jackson
Where's
is with
everybody
you
Hughes?
at breakfast.
Oh, okay. Didn't we say that they hate sunlight? These vampires.
That's one
Vampires?
random thing they said, yes. But vampires aren't real, so...
Exactly.
They're not real. They're definitely not real. No.
Mr.
We
Elias,
are
what do you
rational
think
men
of
of
this
science here,
information?
sir. And ladies.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Mr. Elias, what do you think of this information presented here?
Very suspicious indeed. Hopefully my compatriot at the university can shed some more light on this. One wonders if Larkin is truly in control here.
I
Mr. Carter,
should say not.
I also did pick up the indication that Mr. Larkin is not in control of many things, including his own mind.
That is unfortunate and disturbing if he's leading our expedition.
Quite so, to the point where I now question our being here and our safety. Mr. Elias, Mr. Caldwell, do you happen to know anything about the Carlisle expedition?
I remember reading about that in the paper, yes. Seems like that went badly. Clive, do you recall the same information I already gave Steve's character?
Okay.
And,
Did I write an article on it?
you might have, so
Luck.
I'm gonna go back up and see if there's any smaller tidbits to give you in addition to what we gave Steve already. They first sailed to London to consult with Sir Aubrey Penhew on matters concerning ancient Egypt when he joined the team. After a few weeks in London, they left for Egypt using Cairo as a base, and then performed several short desert excavations. An important find was rumored, but the expedition refused comment to any reporters. The principal members departed for Mombasa, Kenya, and quickly went inland to Nairobi. At the beginning of August of that year, 1919, they hired 20 bearers and headed into the wilderness and then vanished. In March of 1920, which would be many months later, a Kikuyu tribesman told authorities in Nairobi of a party of whites near the Mountain of the Black Wind. Later, rumors intimated that inhuman forces had destroyed the expedition, but you cannot take such things seriously from superstitious peoples. On hearing about the missing expedition, the Playboy's sister, Erica Carlisle, traveled to Africa and hired a search party. After 10 weeks of searching, she, with help from the local authorities, found the remains of the dead expedition members. The corpses were remarkably preserved, although what little was left appeared to have been pulled apart and torn to shreds by animals. A most horrible death. The encampment was completely destroyed. Despite reports to the contrary, the remains were strewn about in the open, and no effort had been made to conceal them. Blame was quickly pinned on local Nandi tribesmen. Some mention was made of a pagan cult, powerful in the area, but the authorities scoffed at the idea and did not follow up on such nonsense. Nor were such things mentioned in the subsequent trial. The trial was a farce, of course. Fingers were pointed at some tribesmen who were tried and then quickly and without fanfare hung. The expedition members were declared dead, and the incident was forgotten.
So nowhere by name is Larkin mentioned as part of the expedition.
No.
Okay. Is there any pictures, though we wouldn't have those available to us now?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you'd have to go somewhere that had those pictures and get a newspaper. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so at this time, my assumption is Mr. Larkin hires and finds his way onto expeditions or people who are capable of performing such expeditions. This uses them to assist him in gaining riches and items of great value, and then promptly murders them.
Oh.
Congratulations, we've all been had.
Huh.
We're
We
gonna
should.
get shanghaied in Kenya?
Jackson looks slightly disturbed, but he says, "We need to get to the bottom of this. However, even if he does prove to be false, I say we press
should-
on with or without him. There are secrets there that should be uncovered, especially if a cult is involved, like there apparently was in Africa."
I'm
Agreed,
with
I
Jack
was-
on this one, yeah.
Agree as
We
well.
should,
We should continue forward to the site, but
Perhaps we
without
should be in
Larkin.
charge.
Correct.
We should stop by the hostel and see if Larkin is up.
First, we
What-
must
what he's up
attend
to.
our meeting because it is at 2 and it is already almost 1.
Ms. Murphy, I do wish to state that this time, if you wish to exit, I don't want to hold you in any sort of danger you're not willing to participate in.
It is quite appreciated, but I'm not a fragile flower.
Also, she uses much less words, so she stays.
When
It's
fixing cars and planes, there's not much that you can say.
See, she said that in like 10 words. It's not
The
hard.
newspaper reporter is telling you talk too much. It's great.
I have a hangover.
You head to your meeting. We'll skip to that. And then, yes, after the meeting, you will head to confront Larkin. On the way, Jackson
we-
tells you... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, like, how do we get to the university? Do we just walk there, or are we taking like a
You take a local taxi.
carriage?
I have an automobile.
Oh, right. No, you take Sydney's car, yes.
You got a car? That's a nice car.
You go about as fast as you would if you were walking quickly, though, because people keep getting in the way to touch your car.
Please don't
Speed
touch. No, please.
On the way, Jackson tells you the museum is a recent addition to the campus. The university was founded in the 1500s, making it the oldest seat of higher learning in the Americas, but the museum is only a few years old, 1919. It's housed in a long 2-story stone building painted dark yellow, fronted by the park, the university's park. You head inside, and Jackson tells you the professor has an office on the ground floor. You arrive at the office, and you are greeted by the professor, who I have pictures of.
Mr.
Professor.
Caldwell, before we get there, Mr. Caldwell, I'm to assume that you have capabilities of speaking as it is your job, is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you feeling up to the task today of leading any sort of conversation in regard to what we need?
You want me to use 40,000 words, or maybe what?
I'm asking if your brain is too pickled to do your job.
You could have just asked him, "I'm still drunk." Like that's just, I'm fine. I'm
Very
fine.
well.
Everything's
Very well.
fine.
Then I will leave the talking to you. I just wanted to see if perhaps my wordsmithing was needed.
It's fine. Everything's fine. Need some more coffee.
Why do I imagine this man's caused more calamities than he's reported?
Okay. This man in the portrait you can see, very well put together gentleman, stands up and says, Jackson, come in, Jackson, with a very thick South American accent. He speaks English, but it's rough. If any of you speak Spanish and prefer to talk to him that way, you can, but he will converse with you in English.
Buenos dias, senor.
Yes, I was not expecting so many visitors, but I'm more than happy for you to come in, especially if you wish to talk history and anthropology. I could talk all day. Jackson says he absolutely could. His office is an airy, tall ceilinged room with white walls and shelves full of books and artifacts. A large hardwood desk dominates the room, piled high with papers, books, and journals. The windows are open to air the room. He tells you that he has offered to help Larkin on a number of occasions, only to be ignored or rebuffed each time, and he is more than interested to hear what you have to say and answer any questions you might have.
Why is he so eager to help Larkin?
Because he is an expert in what Larkin is trying to dig up. If it is a temple, he is the local regional expert on such things. Not using him seems ridiculous. He also tells you he suspects that Larkin wishes to loot the site without interference. There are no legal restrictions in Peru to prevent foreigners from doing this. You can tell it frustrates this man greatly. He says people, Huacueros who would remove his country's treasures in such a manner are the worst, most despicable kind. Any of you who speak Spanish, Huacueros means grave robber.
I go to say something and then stop myself.
He tells you his only recourse, I believe, Sanchez's recourse, not Larkin's, is to identify the exact location of the pyramid and get there first. But time is running out. To this end, himself and one of his students, Trinidad, have been going through the university library and archives for any possible information about the pyramid. They have found an old document dating from the mid-16th century, written by a conquistador by the name of Gaspar Figueroa? I can never say that. Which may refer to the site in question. The document is difficult to read, so Rizzo has been working on a summary that picks out the pertinent details. She has almost finished it, but has had to stop for the moment to look for a related artifact in a storeroom under the museum. He tells you she should be along soon to join the meeting. She's just gone to fetch the artifact.
This is one of your assistants you're talking about?
Yes, one of my students, an understudy.
And what does this artifact got to do with this temple that Larkin wants to go poke around in?
Hopefully, when she pulls the information out, it will better answer those questions for us.
Oh, when she's here right now?
She's in the basement. She should be back any moment. In fact, he looks up at the wall. She's a little late.
Huh.
Well, why don't we, relocate the meeting, right? Why don't we go down there? Or are we not allowed?
Would you wish to go check and see why she's late? Absolutely. I'll wait here with Jackson.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. You know.
I suspect she simply found something interesting and lost track of time. But here are the directions to the storeroom, which is in the basement.
Does he have a current copy of the summary?
She has it.
Oh, she has it. Okay.
Shall I wait here? There's certainly no need for all of us to go.
I mean,
I'll go. This place is interesting looking. I know.
You're going to use less words, and that'll be good. So,
I agree, Mr. Murphy. Perhaps we should stay and continue the conversation with the professor and allow Mr. Caldwell, Mr. Lombardi to track down understudy.
We are going to pause here and go out of character. For no reason. We should go over the equipment you're carrying.
For no reason. None.
It's not like we're splitting the party.
In the middle of an obvious fight/chase.
Mr. Lombardi, what do you carry on your person when you're going to visit a professor on a sunny day in Peru?
Well, considering I'm homeless and I don't own that many things, probably not much. I have a rucksack with, spare clothes and a couple jugs of moonshine, as I established earlier.
Okay.
I purposely gave him points in shotgun, so if he ever gets one, he'll be the hobo with the shotgun.
But you're feeling like you don't have one right now in the museum, right?
Probably
Shotgun
not.
hobo.
I mean, unless it fits in my rucksack, probably not.
When you do get one, you're going to have to start posting pictures from the movie.
Yes.
Do you have fabric and a lighter, though?
Do you smoke?
Fabric, yes.
Like everyone
Lighter,
smoked then.
everybody smoked, right? That's a good point.
Molotov cocktail!
Yeah, moonshine cocktails.
Sydney, what do you
Moonshine?
happen to have with you?
That's an excellent question. Is there
Besides
just like
a lot of aspirin.
I was. Oh,
Clive.
that's
I'm
Clive.
He's Sydney.
I don't know why I
I'm
assume you're
Clive.
Sydney. It must be because of how much you love Australians. But I'm going to set Sydney, so we're going with Sydney. Sydney, what are you carrying?
Honestly, I didn't have anything specific set aside to carry on my person. Ultimately, so like, does the game have like just basic walking around stuff, like my wallet with?
No, it's mostly
cash?
if you're carrying anything odd.
No, just like anyone else would be carrying. You know, my billfold,
Okay.
some papers, a cigarette case, and a lighter, probably.
Hazel.
Well, that depends. Would I carry my tools in there? Probably not. So I likely have probably no more than a pocket knife, if I even have that.
I will allow a pocket knife or a random wrench.
Yes. Oh, a random wrench.
Random
Nice.
wrench.
What about Clive?
He always carries on at least camera, pocket knife, and he currently has in his possession 2 bulbs of garlic and 4 limes.
Got it. Allow me to...
He also carries his typewriter with him, but that's back at the hotel. It's too heavy to carry around.
Allow me to change the mood for no reason. The storeroom is almost directly under Sanchez's office, accessed via a long, spiraling staircase made out of old, weary stone, jagged metal edges, ominous in the shadows because you're descending into darkness. It is musty smelling, quiet, and dark down there.
Why is it? How do you find something in the dark? How do you
You
find
arrive.
an old artifact in the dark?
You arrive at the
There's a
bottom.
light switch in here
You
somewhere.
arrive at the bottom of the stairs to see a long, dimly lit corridor. It is very quiet in here. You do not see or hear anyone else moving around. The door is ajar to the
Hello.
storeroom. The storeroom
Miss, are you
itself,
down here?
as you glance in, you see that it's a cavernous, oblong, and looming room. Maybe 80 feet long by 50 feet wide, filled to the brim with evenly spaced rows of floor-to-ceiling shelves, packed with crates, boxes, and bags, containing a huge variety of artifacts of historical interest. The shelves and containers are all neatly labeled. Between the dim electric lighting, the flickering halogens, whatever they used in the 20s, and the packed shelves, it is difficult to see. You venture into the tight, dark, narrow, packed alleys to try to find the lady.
I pulled out like a little, steel lighter from,
You shout, and you hear nothing.
Is there a light switch on in here?
The lights are on, but they're dim and flickering.
These places. I see anything in here. Hello? Hello,
Hey.
lady?
Oh,
You hear no reply.
Where'd she go? I'm looking around.
what was her name? It's,
Trinidad.
Trinidad,
Trinidad.
lady. Yeah.
Trinidad. In here?
Trini, are you back here, lady?
You hear no
We're with
reply.
We're with Professor Sanchez upstairs.
You'll have to go exploring to try to find her.
Have been look around.
Why don't you cover my back? Or you know what? I'll cover your back. You go forward.
Hobo shield. Go for it, yeah. Yeah, I go in and I start taking a look around.
Actually, you
Whoa.
know what? Hold on. I wanna flash the bulb on my camera down the corridors.
There's a bright flash. For a second, everything is well lit in the hallway, but then it returns to an even deeper darkness as your eyes adjust.
But there's nothing down there.
No. Not in this hall.
Nobody here. Nobody here, Chief.
You head
I look
deeper
around.
in.
There's something else down here. The light
You keep taking pictures every aisle you turn into.
Sure.
You twist and turn in what seems like a maze of aisles and crates and boxes. And as you turn a corner, the 5th or 6th time you turn a corner, you flash your camera, and in the brief flash, you see a pile of boxes and artifacts that have been pulled off a shelf covering the ground.
What's this? I take a look inside.
You move the crates around. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'd
You
like to
discover a dead body.
Oh,
A dead body. Yes.
Oh my god, that was fantastic.
Is it her?
The body is of a young female. She is emaciated, almost mummified, and there is a large disc of torn, bloody flesh on her upper chest. Her shriveled face is frozen in a rictus of terror, eyes wide and staring. Sanity roll, all three of you.
Would you say? Well, there's only how many of us? Two of us.
Three. Only Hazel stayed up. Or wait, did Sydney stay too?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I missed that. Sorry. Two sanity
Sanity.
rolls.
We just click sanity?
Yeah, and then you roll it with the roller.
It is sanity.
Top.
Made it.
You lose no
Boom.
sanity
Hey, buddy.
points, Daniel.
Seen worse in the war.
Boom.
You lose no
I've seen
sanity
dead bodies
points.
before.
Clive,
Oh shoot, boss, she's dead.
you easily notice a notebook
I take a
poking out
picture.
of the dead girl's jacket pocket.
A what?
A
Oh, a notebook? Before he does anything, I take a picture of the whole scene.
Okay.
Does it look like her fat's been sucked out?
Would you like to do a medicine roll
I
or first
do.
aid?
I look the fuck around now while he's taking a
Spot
picture.
hidden.
I think, yeah, I don't feel this. Don't, yeah.
Look at her or look around the area.
Bingo.
Are you looking at her, Daniel, or around the area? Because they're going to be.
I'm
two
looking
separate
around.
things. Okay.
I'm looking around.
The disc of torn, bloody flesh. Remember that Star Trek episode with the salt thing? Classic Star Trek, the salt vampire.
Was that the man trap?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's round. It's about that big, and the edges are all jagged, like little triangles. And a big piece of the meat is missing, but you can't tell. I mean, her body is shriveled and like sucked inwards and collapsed, but you don't know what caused it. You got no idea. Eric,
You said there's.
sorry, what?
You said there is a notebook.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll snag that.
Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
You see, roll track. I don't know. You may or may not have it trained
Oh shit.
with a bonus
Tracking?
die. Yep, with a bonus die.
Be good, man. Try.
Oh, look at that!
Shit,
Holy
I fucking
shit!
made
You
it.
forget to check
God. Are you kidding me?
that. Hold on, hold on.
Dude.
Wow.
I marked that skill. Fuck that shit.
You see that
Wow.
whoever you see that whoever
Wow.
you see that whoever killed her stepped in her blood and has left an intermittent trail as they fled.
They went this way, boss. Follow me.
Wait,
Daniel takes off.
Whoa.
Do you keep looking for a second? Clive?
No, I don't want to lose him.
I grabbed
Clive, give me a
something,
spot hidden.
anything. Oh shit. Is it for Clive?
Clive, yes.
I think Eric was saying he grabs any makeshift club, right?
Yes. Anything large and heavy, I grab it and wield it as a club.
Can I
Clive.
push the fuck out of that?
Yes.
I want to push that.
Yes, you can.
Yeah!
Oh! You can get it. You get it.
Push
You
that.
get
Move
it
it.
too.
That
You're
one
like,
was
wait,
correct.
shit, fuck, hold on, and you're flinging stuff everywhere, trying to look for a second. As you run away, you're like looking through a box of stuff and tossing it behind you. You see that lying next to her body was a small wooden crate which had been smashed to pieces. The way the top had been pulled off made you think the damage wasn't entirely due to fall, like someone ripped that open. Poking out from the straw that's in the crate was a section of what appears to you to be a large piece of worked gold. And
Can I
as you're
grab
looking
it?
at it, as you run after Daniel, you see what appears to be the freshly burned remains of skin on the gold. But it's not hot.
Can I grab that gold?
Oh yeah, you've got it with you. Also,
Okay.
because you rolled a 2 on a push roll, you're like, huh, crowbar. Here, Daniel.
Yeah, here we go.
You run upstairs. The rest of you, you other two. They go downstairs, and you're like, so, what do you think about this weather? This is good weather, right? It's good weather. And you hear a bunch of crashing and smashing noises, and you're like, what's going on? And a figure bursts into the room with you.
Grab my wrench.
As you're standing in the room, a figure darts in, looks around, realizes there are three of you, and goes right out a window and into the street, spot hidden.
Say what?
What the bloody hell was that?
Jumps through the window.
Spot hidden from both of you.
These cultists, man, they love jumping out windows, I'm telling you.
Oh, flapjacks.
Keeping it or pushing it?
I'm pushing it. Really?
Oh no!
You've gone blind!
You saw something very disturbing.
Sanity roll.
Dang it.
Did I need a roll spot hidden as well? I'm
Not
sorry.
anymore.
No? Okay.
Sanity roll. Where are you, Sanity?
Top
To
of the page.
I knew that. I didn't, but thanks.
Let's see. A hard roll on 60 would be 30. You fail!
It hurts. It hurts.
So... Hold on.
Oh no.
Do I faint?
Right onto a divan.
A duvet.
You do not... you do not faint, because I'm not that mean. Only the
Aw.
rich guy's gonna faint in this game. However...
Good call.
I do need to make you a new handout real fast, because that fail roll doesn't mean you didn't see anything, it means you saw too much.
Oh my god! Am I gonna die on the spot?
No, but you're gonna lose some sanity.
Oh shit. Jinx!
She only has 4 sanity.
Oh god.
Alright, so... First
I'm
things
gonna
first,
die.
roll a d6. Your fate is in your hands.
Oh, thanks. That's so encouraging. Oh, dude. I know where I'm going. I swear.
You lose 3 points of sanity. As the figure leaps out the window, you realize that's D. Mendoza. What? What's he doing here? But then you get a real good look at his face.
Demon does that.
A real good look at his face. You scream in terror. Your face goes
What?
white and you stumble back into the desk. Only Hazel sees this.
Wow.
Wow. Sound like Owen Wilson.
Hazel, roll a d4.
Oh my god. Why?
You saw too much.
I saw too much.
You lose 3 more points of sanity.
Oh god.
Why did she lose 3 more?
Because she
Magic.
she failed a push roll on a spot hidden. She saw too much.
Oh no.
Damn, this game really.
Your sanity permanently
Really?
drops by 1 point, Hazel, but you gain 1 point because of the mythos.
So it's 54 out of 59 now?
Correct.
Okay. Just
And you
checking.
can add 1 point to the mythos skill on your sheet.
Awesome. I've seen the
She
Cthulhu
screams, D.
guys.
Mendoza! And then she screams louder. What do you do, Sydney? You couldn't tell who it was.
Oh god.
I'm sorry. We're not still in the professor's office.
Yes.
We
He burst in.
are-
Apparently he
No.
was going to attack the professor, saw you, stayed behind, and went out the window.
went out the window.
Yes.
Okay, but I didn't say.
We saved him.
Yes.
Miss Murphy, are you okay? What's happening?
It was Demon Mendoza and I feel quite sick.
Oh god, oh.
And that's when Daniel comes charging into the room saying, "The bloody footprints came here! Where is he?"
Let me take a whack at it. I got him.
Daniel, he went out the window.
Out the window. Of course he went out the window.
Do you give chase or do you let him go?
Of course.
Seeing your friends
Fast as I
collapsed
can.
or whatever. Daniel goes out the window. Clive, you come chasing after him, going, "Wait!
Holy crap!
My head!
That-
Fuck you, people!"
That hobo is fast.
That's why he's poor. He pays for all these marathons.
Things I didn't expect to hear today. That hobo's fast.
Sanchez, your daughter's dead. That thing.
What?
I'm going. I'm going.
Clive goes
I'm
out the
going.
window. Sydney, what do you do?
I look.
Jackson says, "She's dead. That monster killed her." He pulls out a 38 and goes out the window.
Oh shit.
No.
Miss Murphy, it appears as though we're taking chase.
Come here, you little bastard. I'm gonna hit you like your mama never did.
And I will continue the chase, I guess.
Okay,
Oh god.
chases.
Mr. Professor Sanchez?
Everyone make con rolls.
Oh
Boy, on roll. Constitution. Wah! Yeah, I got you.
Damn it! Not again. No. There's an initiative tracker.
We are in a chase scene.
Our first Call of Cthulhu chase.
Alright. Dexterity for Hazel. Or not, sorry, your movement, not your dex. My bad. Should be towards the top of your screen by your hit points. That hit is too loud, I gotta fix that.
I don't see movement on this.
I don't see it at all.
It's in here because we said that.
Yeah, on combat movement rate.
Oh, yeah, right under your combat screen. Tab.
Can it be
Mine's
0?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, 7. Okay.
It should not be 0, no.
Should be.
Movement rate is 7.
Uh,
How did those not get filled in?
that should have automatically filled in, but if it didn't, we can figure out what yours is. Your movement's going to be Dex plus Con divided by 5. Round down.
Okay.
So, Hazel, what's your movement? Or, yeah, Hazel.
7.
Did you fail or pass the con check?
I failed it.
Sydney, base movement?
You said Dex plus Con divided by 5?
Yeah. Yep.
Mine's 20. Is that right?
No, it's not 5 then.
Yeah, because mine is 22. This seems great.
Mine's incorrect. It should be 25, but
No, I gave you the wrong formula. Okay. If both dex... Yeah, I was way off. If both dex and strength are less than your size, your movement is 7.
oh, okay. That's
If either dex or strength are equal to or greater than size, your movement is 8. If they're both greater, your movement is 9.
I have 1 greater, so mine is...
Yes. 8. And did you fail or pass the con roll?
I passed.
Daniel. 7, right?
yeah. Yep.
And did you fail or pass?
I passed.
Clive.
I failed.
What's your base roll was what?
My movement rate's 8, but I failed.
Okay. And we gotta roll the perfectly normal human guy. beginning of the chase scene initiative order. Oh, we forgot Jackson. Poor Jackson.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson.
No.
No?
Passed
No.
his con roll.
Sean, you can't be making puns that bad. I am for real.
I see what you did there.
Ha!
When the chase begins, Sydney, you were catching up to him. Somehow, you're like Terminator running past everyone else. He dashes down a side alley. What do? You just give chase, or do you try to take some wild, crazy action?
How far? Like, what's the general distance between us?
So in a chase scene, you don't actually track total distance. At least I don't, unless you're in a car. He's
Okay.
far enough ahead that you won't catch him this turn. If all you do is run, you'll definitely get closer, though. You can also try to slow him down, or try to do something clever, like cut him off, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to be a dum-dum. So, so as he's cutting down an alley, is there something that I can grab and throw at him to try to either, like, if I can hit him and like get him off balance and maybe like either have him slow down or possibly trip?
You can, yes.
Okay. And then I'm gonna make a throw at him.
Do it. You throw the item. He ducks. It bounces off the wall. Man. So,
Boo.
Boo.
the way this works is the actions you get while in a chase is 1 plus the difference in movement between you and the slowest character in the chase that you're chasing, which means you get 2 actions. When you do with your second action, you continue the chase.
My second action, I'll continue the chase.
Jackson starts falling behind, but he takes a shot.
Shit. Jackson's strapped.
Dang.
Bah.
The bullets go wild and do not hit the target.
Mm.
Mendoza puts all his effort into running. He is crazy fast. Almost unnaturally so. Daniel.
I try to cut him off while these guys are up his butt. I'm gonna try to go around and wait and see if I can club him right as he comes out of the alley.
You're gonna try to overtake him if you can. Okay.
Yeah.
Clive.
Why are we running? We have a car. Why are we running?
We don't have time to get up and find the
I
car.
was
and
wondering if someone would
drive
ask
off.
that.
Hazel, get the car.
Righto.
What do you do, Clive? You keep chasing? You only get 1 action.
I wait for the car.
Hazel, you're gonna stop and get the car.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
But does anybody know how to drive except for Hazel?
That's her
Oh.
job.
Sydney. You've almost overtaken him, but not quite.
I will.
Sydney, as you're running,
Oh God!
he leaps
Should I
over.
use-
He leaps over a chain link fence. What do you do? It's in your way. Like, I mean,
What?
he just standing leaps that shit. That fence is 8 feet tall.
I will
Well,
continue the chase and attempt to climb as best as I can.
climb check.
Son of a!
You clamber over the fence. You trip and fall to the other side. You don't make any progress towards catching him this turn, but you don't lose any either.
Okay.
Jackson has to run this turn. He can't stay in range. Mendoza turns towards you and flings something at you. It looks like a nasty looking dagger.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yes. Wildly misses
No
you.
way that. I was gonna say, no way that hits.
Daniel, you come tearing around the corner only to see he's ahead of you. As you come tearing around the
What?
corner, though, you think you might see a shortcut, but you're going to have to go up that
Culvert?
No,
Aqueduct?
when they're on buildings.
Whoa.
Yeah, I gotta
gutter.
shimmy up with that.
Gutter. You
Gutter.
can cover up a gutter
Gutter,
and
yeah.
jump across the building. Give me a climb check.
Oh no, this is not what I'm good at.
You can also not do
Climb.
that and just keep chasing him.
I'll just keep chasing.
Okay.
I don't want to risk busting my ass trying to chase after this guy.
Hazel, make a drive roll.
If I fail this, I'm gonna cry.
Me too.
I think you got this. The only person who can drive on this team. Yeah, see?
Hazel, you have radically changed your position in the initiative because now your movement is equal to the car. Which, I didn't actually write it down what it is for this specific car, so we're just gonna make a number up for this fight.
Can I run over De Mendoza?
And if you catch him, yes.
Yes.
And because you made your roll, you gain a point, so this is now your movement. Would you like to
Wow.
would you like to use one of your many actions this turn to pick up Clive?
Heck
No.
yeah.
Clive, you're in the
slowest
car.
one.
Clive and Hazel make luck rolls.
Oh god. I'm
What could
scared.
go wrong?
Boom.
Why?
Clive, you're like, haha, car. Wait, this guy's a famous explorer. I wonder. You go tearing through the glove compartment. There's a 38 in there.
Nice.
It's got 4 shots.
I'm sorry, that weapon is registered to me and only me?
Hazel, would you like to use all your remaining actions to try to drive? Now the catch here is you have to follow the streets. Or do you want to try to do something else?
I'm not really sure what else I'd try to do.
Navigate, Clive. Clive, make a navigate roll for her.
Yeah, that's what happened.
In a city you don't know anything about.
Oh boy.
Go that way. And then I shoot her with the revolver.
They went that cute with the
Hazel,
'Cause it got-
you follow
it got
Clive's
a
directions
zero in
and
that.
lose ground.
Oh my.
Damn
Sydney.
it, Clive.
Sydney, you see your car go tearing down the road, and Clive is waving your gun around for the passenger seat.
That away.
Oh my god, that's so great.
Damn.
You guys are killing me.
I disregard the fact that my car is now officially stolen. My gun it appears. And I will continue the chase. And this turn I will attempt to try to overtake it with my actions.
Okay. Daniel,
Yeah.
you find a better route you think will cut him off this time. Make a dex roll, dexterity.
Oh, sure.
You're gonna have to leap over some trash cans without stumbling and going flying on your face through the alley.
I jump over trash cans all the time.
You hit the ground and do an acrobatics level tumble. You're catching up to him now. Mendoza pours it on because he sees 2 of you are catching him. Jackson takes another shot, even though he's falling behind now.
Hey.
Jackson hits him.
Yeah.
The bullet wings his left arm. No blood comes out. That's weird.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Clive. You can see him. Take a shot.
I mean, that's not gonna happen.
You're like, how does this work? Boom, and you put a hole through the top
That's
of Steve's.
actually
Wait,
not.
wait,
Can
wait,
I
wait.
not do that? That like I will never
First.
succeed.
Yes, you can try
No, no,
something
no, no.
else if you want, but I don't know what else you're gonna do from the passenger seat.
You have a base skill of, I think, 20%. But yeah, you.
Oh, do you?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It says 0 because it's specializations, but yeah, if you roll under 20, I'd let you hit.
All right.
You can spend 13 luck points.
You want to push it? Oh no, you hit Abuela! Oh!
What would you like to do instead?
Nah, you know what? I'm gonna push it.
I was joking!
Push it.
Do
real good.
Wait, it still says
At
0.
least
That's
it's
not
not a
right.
critical failure.
Yeah, but we know it's 20, so it's fine.
That's right.
You hear a very shrill "Coño puta!"
What happens is, and this is from your point of view, Sydney. You see Clive lean out the window. You can see he's squinting so hard because he has a hangover. And he's like, "I've got him!" and he takes a shot and puts it right through your engine.
Oh.
Son of a...
The car starts swerving and smoke comes out of it. And Hazel's trying to keep control.
You bloody wanker! What do you think you were doing?
It's the first time I've shot a gun!
Here's where it gets good. Hazel, Hazel, Sydney, you're almost there. You decide, like, you could catch him. You gonna make a flying tackle? Get him! Sydney does a flying tackle. Roll brawl.
It hurts.
I'm doing that. Yes.
You are indeed Sydney.
That was me asking you, and when you went like this, I assumed that meant yes, I want to do it.
I swear, I know you said my name. I heard Hazel. So in my head now, all I'm seeing is
Driving
Hazel.
a car. Wait,
That's why I thought it was so awesome. I thought Hazel was gonna dive out of the car and linebacker this guy.
It's much worse than that. First, let's see what happens with that attack roll.
Okay, here we go. Here's my brawl. That's a success. That's a 13.
Sydney goes flying through the air, hits D. Mendoza in the back, and tackles him. They roll into the street. Hazel, make a hard drive check.
Oh,
Please don't run me over.
I'm gonna try not to.
Your damaged car is careening towards them, rolling across the pavement.
Look, if I roll terribly, it's not my fault. It's the car's fault.
Make it. Please make it.
Oh!
Ask and you shall receive. Damn. Mark that skill.
Hazel is the best at driving ever.
Wow.
Don't jinx it.
Wow. Okay.
Got
So,
him.
I need
Box him in.
Hold on, I gotta check this one second.
That was fucking magic.
That was so fucking cool. Oh.
And it'll never happen again.
It was all about those small victories.
Oh.
So, right
You know what?
before she does her thing, she goes like this. Wait, did I do that right? I'm not Catholic. I don't, like...
No one's been able to tell me the right way.
Wait. Spectacles, pocket and watch. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. I think that's it. That burns. Why does that burn? I'm just kidding.
We need to do the ending to Speed, where I've got the Mendoza like pushed up above me, and I happen to be just flat enough that the car runs him over and over me. Yeah, like just misses me. Boom. That's how we take this guy
That's
out.
what's about to happen.
Yes.
Thump.
So we're gonna go with your car is damaged, but it is still a car. The car does, when it hits something, does a D10 per build point. 6d10, Hazel, roll it.
Good God.
Wow. I know
I
how
mean,
we're
you've
killing
got a Model
things
T.
from now on.
You got a new fancy fangled Model T made out of good old American steel.
Oh.
The car goes flying through the air, and this is
With
in
the
slow
greatest
motion
of
for you,
ease.
Sydney. In slow motion, you look up as you're rolling, and the car turns in the air as it goes over you, up on its side on two wheels, and you push D. Mendoza up, and as the car comes down, it lands right on his face and turns it into mush.
Whoa.
And then she hits the brakes and squeals everywhere, splattering his face all over you.
Sanity check.
You're covered in this weird white foul goop.
You've been in an accident.
Get out.
Yeah, am I making a sanity check for being covered in...
Yes, you do.
Whatever goop.
Roll it.
Oh, no.
Why did you even bring that out in the universe, Steve? You should.
Oh, he
Yeah,
was
it's
gonna
so-
have to either way.
No!
D6! Oh, that's a critical failure. Maximum
What?
sanity loss, 6 points.
What?
Minus 6 sanity. It gets in your mouth and goes up your nose and shit. And then as you're panicking, you swallow it, hence the 6 points.
Oh god. Oh god.
Could he not like push the roll and like
Not on a
maybe
sanity
get
roll.
6? Oh right, you can't push those.
Guys,
Oh.
I lost 6 sanity. I now have 69
Is that
sanity.
temporary insanity, Tyler, or no?
69 sanity.
I'm actually looking it up right now.
Because I want to say 5 is like
We might have had to give Hazel one too.
shit.
Alright, sanity.
Oh no, I'm the first one to gain a mania.
Temporary insanity.
Dun dun dun.
It's a Jamiroquai song, isn't it?
Virtual insanity.
Oh, that's such a good song.
How much did you lose total? Or how much did you lose per roll, Hazel, when I had you do it? Not total. It was 3 and then what?
Three,
Three?
And then
three,
another
Uh,
3.
3 and 3.
Because they were
Yeah.
separate, you're okay.
Yeah. I think if
Sydney.
you lose it all at once, like
Sydney,
in one roll, then yeah.
temporary madness.
Yes. Ooh.
Oh my.
I don't want it, so you. I'm cool.
I don't want it.
Okay, roll us a d4. Wait, no, don't do that. Sorry. Roll us a. Do you want to pick or do you want to roll a d10 and take random?
Random.
D10, roll it.
8.
8.
Wow.
Physical hysterics or emotional outbursts. Investigator is incapacitated, laughing, crying, screaming, or whatever you roleplay for. Roll a d10. $70 rounds.
70
minutes.
rounds.
7 minutes.
He's
You're out of the fight now, so it's not that bad, but it's 7
Right.
minutes.
So.
So
yeah.
silly question. He's dead. Is he dead? Like when we see?
We don't
him
know
out-
yet because first Sydney has to freak out.
So.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, so we do that whole thing. Hazel comes careening in on 2 wheels and just clips D Mendoza. I'm covered in this white goopy stuff. It goes in my mouth and I swallow a little bit of it. And I'm just like on the ground facing straight up in the air.
He's made out of pancake batter.
I just wipe a big glob of it off my face.
Interesting response.
The car screeches to a halt and you two leap out. You come tearing around the corner, Daniel, and you see what's left of Mendoza. And you ask a question. What was your question?
Is he still alive?
Spot
Moving
hidden, first
around?
aid, or medicine? Spot
Probably. Why
aid.
wouldn't
My
he
spot
be?
hidden because that's
First aid.
probably my better skill.
First aid normal, medicine easy, spot hidden hard. Oh. That's for all 3 of you, but not Sydney.
I got a 40% chance with first aid. What was the other skill?
Medicine will be an easy roll, spot hidden will be hard, and first aid will be normal.
I'll do this. The hard spot. No.
Wow.
Missed
Can
it by
spend luck
7
points or push.
Wow.
Really?
Mm.
I'm gonna push the roll.
Push it. Extreme success.
Daniel
got
pushed.
Nice.
Got him.
What were you rolling, Daniel? You were
Son
rolling
of a-
spot hidden.
I'm
you're
checking
like,
to see if he's dead.
You're like, you pick
Monkey
him up,
butt.
and there's no head. It's like not there. It's just like
Okay,
this
he's
flat,
dead.
this flat mess of skin and white shit. And then you're like,
That ain't that.
you drop him
You
on the
see?
ground, and you're like, he's dead. Oh wait. And it looks like the head is very slowly knitting itself back together. Sanity roll.
Oh god!
I told you he's not normal. I told you he.
Sanity roll, Daniel.
Yay.
Now would be a really good time for moonshine cocktail.
I made it.
You make it. You lose 1 point of sanity because that's real horror. Monsters
That is
are real.
horror. Yep. they sure is. How do I? Oh, I have to go into edit mode, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
And
I'm
as
at
you're holding the
69.
body going, what even is happening? You look down the neck, and this squirmy thing comes out and flies towards your face.
What?
It's getting even worse.
I would like to do
I think it's
something.
worse.
You're like, ah, and you duck out of the way and it goes flying through the air. Clive, you're like, you rush over to help him, and the thing
What
comes
in the
flying at
shit
you.
is that?
I would like what?
Something white and squirmy is flying through the air at you.
Oh, gross.
Would you like to make a dodge roll? The answer is
yeah.
yes.
How do you do that?
Just roll
The
dodge.
answer is yes.
There's a correct answer.
Oh,
like-
you better spend some fucking luck right now.
I would like to spend 3 luck.
If
Don't
you
push
spend-
it.
If you spend 3 luck, you will succeed by the exact amount. He will have succeeded by 3 points. He will still beat you. In order to dodge, you will need to spend 7 luck.
Oh, fuck.
The winner is the difference between successes. Whoever succeeds by more wins the roll.
Dang.
Fine.
You're like, it's coming right for my face, and then Hazel's getting out of the car and trips over you and knocks you down, and it goes flying at Hazel.
No!
No,
God, no!
what the hell? Holy shit.
Hazel, would you like to dodge?
Yeah.
Roll it.
Oh
Oh
god.
my god.
Oh no.
That's a
Burn it.
pretty-
Burn
that's a
it with
pretty
fire.
good success for him. Too.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Ah, son of a. Meh.
Ugh.
It hits you in the face on the cheek with a splat.
Ew.
And the 3 of you that aren't losing their minds look at her. And it kind of looks like a giant maggot. Covered in
Like
white
a
shit.
lamprey?
Is
And it's going for her ear, like in Wrath of Khan.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Sanity roll, Hazel. Sanity roll.
Oh no.
My ear is bothering me now.
Just
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
about what's ever inside your
Ugh.
headphone cup right now.
Oh no. That doesn't help.
Except the 3 of you, well, not Hazel because she can't really see it, but the 2 of you, Clive and Daniel. It looks like a magnet, but it's definitely not because the inside of its mouth is covered with small hook-like barbs that's attaching to her skin.
It looks like a lamprey,
Kind of.
right?
Except you
Is,
don't think those barbs are to suck. Those barbs are to force the orifice open so it can get inside.
Oh, that sucks.
That's lovely.
Mendoza still regenerating?
Daniel thinks so, yes. Slowly.
Okay.
Very slowly.
That thing's still alive.
I would like to do something.
Kill it until it's dead.
To Hazel's face or to Demon Doze's body.
Demon Doze's body.
Okay. What are you going to do?
I want to take the limes out of my pockets, cut them in half, and trip it on Demon Doze.
You son of a bitch!
Oh my god.
Okay.
I swear to God,
Daniel, what do
Oh,
you do
crap.
while he's pouring citrus on the monster?
Yeah, that's nice. He's marinating Martinez. I'm gonna go and take out my lighter and put it right to that fucking hook thing that is on Hazel's ear.
It squeals in agony and shrivels almost instantly, leaving just white slime on her face.
And then I take a whack at it with my stick.
You failed your sanity roll and I missed it. Roll a d3, Hazel.
D3, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you roll 3 on this one, you're going temporary mad too.
Oh, whoops.
No
Oh,
pressure.
man.
You're good.
Oh.
2 points.
Ha!
Whack at it.
You're pouring lime juice all over the corpse, Clive, when you're like, wait, make a no roll, which is intelligence.
Do I
No,
lose 2 points of
Intelligence
sanity?
is not. This is not a no roll. This is a clue roll. Yeah, 2 more points of
So-
sanity.
I'm rolling intelligence.
Yep.
nice.
Squirting the lime juice, squirting the weight. Lime juice burns vampires. Piece of gold had burned skin on it.
Oh yeah, I whacked the shit out of that thing with the gold.
As you press the gold onto its body, the body starts to, like, the arms and legs flop around into seizures and goes everywhere, and the skin starts to sizzle, and then it bursts into fucking flame like a vampire. Sanity
Nice.
rolls all around.
Well,
Oh,
cool.
Damn it.
Cool.
It's becoming very
Clive.
minor, don't worry.
I'm still in
Including
my madness,
you.
right?
Made it.
including me. Okay.
Yes.
I hate this game so fucking much.
I made it.
I failed again.
Anyone who failed takes -1. Anyone who succeeded takes none. Critical failure doesn't make it worse.
Cool.
What do I do?
You just lose a
Oh.
point of sanity. No special penalty for critical failure because it's easier to accept that a vampire bursts into flames than maggots that want to go down your holes come out of vampires.
Hmm.
So we see the body burst into flames. Is that lamprey, maggot-looking thing still squirming around on the
No, it
street?
dissolved.
Oh,
It
good.
burst into flames too.
Oh,
And then you
I
hear
thought
the
it was
police
still alive.
sirens.
Whack it.
Police sirens. You gonna stay and make reports, or you gonna head back to the museum before more looky-loos show up?
Fuck
Time
no,
to-
we're going back. I'm jumping in the back of the car. I'm like, let's go. Come on, we gotta get out of here.
No, because the police will come and take our statement. We'll tell them it was a vampire.
Does anyone
What's wrong with the chief?
Does anyone drag Sydney into the car because he ain't moving?
I
Come on,
did.
chief. We gotta get in the
I
car.
attempt.
Let's go.
Hazel
We gotta
drags
get in the
Sydney into
car.
the car, and you take off going back to the professor. You pick up Jackson along the way, who came up out of the alley in time to see the maggot and the burning vampire. He just sits in the back of the car, just kind of staring out the window, like, what?
What was that thing? Jax, you know what that thing was?
I don't know. What I saw
That didn't
can't be
look like
real.
no vampire.
It can't have been
That
what I
did
saw.
not look like Count Dracula.
Perhaps it was a shared delusion that couldn't have been real.
I mean, does that happen with delusions? I point to
this
Clive.
gold smashy thing says that was real.
Sydney.
He's just trying to absorb it all, and he's uncharacteristically out of words.
I told you that guy ain't normal. He ain't human.
He just kind of whispers to himself, so how much else is true? A collector of folklore is accepting that the supernatural is real. It's more overwhelming than for most of you.
Killed that girl Trinidad, and it was probably gonna do the same thing to your professor friend. We gotta go pick him up and get him out of here.
You get back to the professor's office, and he's freaking out when you come in, because he found the body now, and he's just like really freaking out. If you're gonna get anything out of this guy, you're gonna have to calm him down.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
What's a good skill for that?
Psychology?
Any social skill, psychology,
Charm?
persuade, charm, or fast talk.
I can do fast talk, maybe.
Fast talk and charm will be hard. Persuade and psychology will be normal.
I'll let Clive do his thing. You guys
Hey, success.
got it under control, I think.
Yeah, look at that.
It's a success. Sorry.
Between the two of you, you get him calmed down enough for him to sit in the chair, and for you all just stand there like he's got a little liquor cabinet. It's half empty in 10 minutes. As you all just down some scotch and some tequila.
You know, if
You all
you
just
mix
sit
the
there very
scotch
somberly
and
after
the
you've
tequila-
explained to each other everything that happened.
What was that thing? Professor, do you know what that was?
If what you say is true, I guess that was a Karasiri.
That's a crazy death cult that these guys were talking about? That Jax was talking about earlier?
It's a fat-eating vampire. He kind of laughs at himself.
I I apologize for my previous hysterics in regard to today's events, but I this is obviously just someone who is so sanity as to mimic the ideas of the local vampire legend, and who obviously has some sort of parasite in regard to their own.
It was a
actions.
monster! It was
no.
like... It was a monster. Right, Chief? Right?
Which chief are you talking to?
The rich guy. He's the, the
Okay.
money man.
Jackson.
Yeah, I dare
Jackson.
say.
Jackson speaks very quietly, but his voice carries over all of you when he says, "It must be real. We have to accept it," with a heavy note of finality.
Yeah, what he said.
The Karasiri are real. We must find this temple for now, absolutely.
So wait a minute. If this guy is, if he's the guy who... That means Larkin's one of them, too, right?
Larkin,
Larkin.
I don't know.
We gotta
But
find him.
But what I do know is if all of the cult are Karasiri and they're coming from the temple, perhaps more than the fate of some artifacts are at stake. Perhaps the fate of Peru itself rests on us.
Dun dun dun. Sorry.
It's Peru. You know,
We must
Wow.
find Larkin.
they can't make hamburgers. Man, throwing it out there.
You pull the notebook out of your pocket as you go through this line of thought, Clive, and interrupt yourself. Inside the notebook is something of interest to all of you.
Oh.
I will give you a moment to read that, and we'll make it large so people watching can read it also.
Does somebody want to read this out loud?
Yeah, why
Anybody
not?
who thinks they're good with a Spanish accent, Hazel, since it's a lady who wrote it.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know if I'm good with a Spanish accent.
Oh no, this wasn't written by a lady. This was written by the conquistador. So Eric,
Oh shit. Spanish, written by Gaspar Figueroa, 1543, on vellum. Figueroa,
Jesus, that's hot.
Spaniard who had traveled to Peru with Francisco Pizarro. According to the text, Figueroa set out to seek out his own fortune following Pizarro's assassination in 1541. He was accompanied by Hernando Ruiz, Diego Garrido, and Luis de Mendoza, and Pedro de Velasco.
you
Fellow
stop there
conquistadors who had...
before you continue, and it sinks in.
Uh-huh.
De Mendoza, 1541. Continue.
The fellow conquistadors who had served with Pizarro. They traveled into the southern highlands of the Andes, looking for treasure, hoping to make their fortunes before heading back to Spain and retiring in luxury. Hearing rumors of an ancient temple filled with gold, the men set off into the mountains southwest of Lake Titicaca.
Nice.
There they found a pyramid surrounded by a maze-like structure of underground tunnels. The walls of the tunnels were inlaid with intricate gold carvings. The men pried out a large section of the gold, exhausting themselves in the attempt. That night, as they rested, an evil sickness befell Figueroa's companions. Morning light, they looked gaunt and death-like. Complaining of agonizing hunger, they pursued Figueroa. De Mendoza caught up with him and started to devour him like a human leech. Figueroa shot his friend in the head and fled, pausing only to snatch up as much of the gold as he could carry. Figueroa eventually arrived back in Lima, hoping to get passage home, but he was too weakened by his ordeal. Figueroa describes himself as wasted, little more than a walking corpse. I read Final Confessions as Figueroa's attempt to lift the guilt that his avarice had placed upon him. He believed that his fate and that of his companions was brought about by their desecration of a holy place, and his most fervent wish was that he could undo the damage he had inflicted. He describes how he can still hear his friends' voices, crying out with inhuman hunger, and how in the dark of the night he can hear another voice, ancient and seductive, promising him eternal life if he returns to the temple. The voice told Figueroa how to contact it, but it seems Figueroa was too afraid to ever attempt this. A postscript written by the priest who performed the last rites states that Figueroa died a day after completing his final confessions. His last words were an entreaty to whatever gods were listening to forgive him his blasphemies.
If I recall correctly, Larkin, when I was in his room, he cried out a voice in his head he was trying to silence. Perhaps that is why he was using the heroin. I think he might be hearing the same voice described in this confession.
And now he's got to go back to the temple like the guy, right?
So it would seem. And De Mendoza seemed to
Jackson says, I have something quite foul to add. Perhaps that thing that attacked Hazel was a larva. Perhaps it was meant for the professor. If it could invade him, perhaps he would become like them and be their slave. Perhaps that's how the infection spreads.
It got into Mendoza, and then it tried to get into her. Yeah. Why is it gold that burns him?
I suspect we would find our answers to that at the temple.
I'm not going in within 20 miles of that place.
Well, they will. They're gonna beat you to it, pal. We gotta find him. We gotta get this Larkin. I know where he stays. We know where he stays, right, Chief?
I mean, you guys found him last night.
Unfortunately, yes, have to agree with Mr. Lombardi. We know where he is. We have resources and means and expertise. Puppy, and a puppy. We have resources and expertise, and while again I did not anticipate anything like this happening, we're in this, and it's up to us to stop whatever's happening.
You may not want to take the car over there, though, Chief. Maybe
I believe
pretty big splash back there. The police are probably already looking for that kind of car, and there's not many cars around here.
I agree. Perhaps we can bring the car back to the hotel, and at a later time, Miss Murphy can bring it back to its rightful status without a slug through its engine block.
And you know what? I can probably talk to La Abuelita, and maybe she can lead to the room, right? We can get in there, grab Larkin, and get out.
Do we wish to take Larkin by force?
If we have to, I think so. I mean, if he's involved with these death cultists or whatever, yeah, we probably might have to.
We may have no choice.
Very well. Perhaps this time, though, we should seek out armaments.
I got mine.
Daniel. Daniel.
Yeah.
When you hear Clive say he's not going anywhere near that temple and wants nothing to do with these monsters, you recall a story you heard once from we were war buddies after the war. About how if these things are real, maybe some of the wilder stories you've heard are real. There was something similar like this, a strange cult that started out with abnormal things and was rapidly trying to spread and had become such a threat that the military itself had to send a submarine in to blow up something off the coast of Massachusetts? Innsmouth, maybe?
Oh, shit.
But this is serious, and if you run away, you won't be safe anywhere. That's what you feel like you should tell Clive.
Yeah, I kind of look at Clive and I'm like, listen, pal, I know it doesn't sound like a place you want to go to, but let me tell you something. If that thing back there is real, and half of the stuff I've heard of when I was in the service is real, we got real big problems, and I mean bigger than Peru.
I hand the professor my camera. Gather everybody out. Everybody smile, because this is the last anybody's ever going to see us.
Grew a picture just before we die. Hey!
The professor takes your picture. Now you
Lombardi's kind of
picture,
lounging,
just like
he's
the
got a
Carlisle expedition.
Crowbar.
That big flash, black and white picture of all of us.
Elias expedition, last time seen together.
Yep.
Yep. Accurate.
You're brilliant, Sean.
I'm gonna keep that gold thing, by the way.
Okay. No one stops you.
Please. Is there more?
What is it? Is it just like a hunk of gold, or what is it?
I will show you real fast.
Yeah, is it unrefined? Like, is it just a lump of gold?
No, it's some kind of stuff written on it, and it's larger. It's a piece of broken off from something larger.
Oh, okay.
Like, say, an ancient temple in the jungle?
Maybe.
Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games.
Indeed.
And strange gold bars?
There it went. That took a hot second. Looks like that.
Oh, weird.
Huh.
Huh. Okay.
Wow.
Does it have writings on it? Is that
Yep,
am
some
I
kind of
seeing-
strange symbols that is not indigenous language.
I take a look at it.
Neither
Does it look
the-
anything familiar?
No, and neither the professor nor Jackson recognize it either. It's a
Oh,
strange alien writing.
So yeah, that was a really poorly tuned Twilight Zone theme.
So then I understand you're gonna head back to the hotel to talk to Larkin.
Larkin. Yeah.
No one ever expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Maybe
You
we should
arrive
have
at the
people
hotel
waiting
room.
outside just in case.
Do you just go up to the room and start pounding on the door? What's your plan here?
I
look-
go to talk to the old lady.
Hold on, before we go back to the hotel, I was serious before. Like, do we want to, before we go confront Larkin, with what just happened? Is there anywhere we can go to get more proper weapons? Like, can we secure more guns?
Between a professor, a folklorist, mechanic, and
A
reporter
city,
and a bum? Probably not.
a city in a city the size of Peru. Like,
I'm quite handy with a crowbar.
I got a crowbar.
Jackson says he knows for a fact no matter what happens with you when you confront Larkin, you're no longer going with him on the expedition, so he's going to go take care of what you need to continue on without him, and he leaves his 38 with the party, so now you have 2 of them. He gives you enough rounds to load both weapons.
I don't want to go.
12 shots. You also have the crowbar and a random big wrench and 2 pocket knives. If you want more, yes, you can try to get that done.
I'll take
Probably
the crowbar and just hide
machetes.
underneath my coat.
Machete would be easy to acquire. You wouldn't even have to do any roll because Sydney has lots of money and machetes are common here because of the jungle.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, machete sounds good.
Machete.
You all want one?
Hell yeah.
4
I mean,
machetes.
if it does the
Done.
same.
It does the same. It does close to the same damage, Eric, but it's a different type of damage.
Oh right, slashing, not
You're right.
bludgeoning.
Well, it depends on how dull it is. Sorry.
I'll hold off on the machete though, probably.
Okay, 3 machetes.
I'll take both handguns, I guess, but I'm not great with handguns. I need me a sawed-off shotgun. That's what
Me too.
Make a luck roll, and then make a credit roll, Sydney, since you're the man with the funds now.
Son of a
Fuck.
Wow.
Give me the credit roll. You were able to acquire 2 shotguns with regular buckshot shells, but there's nothing special about them.
Oh yeah, I'll take one.
Okay, yeah. Me and Hobo with a shotgun over here are locked and loaded. How many shells between us?
8 rounds, 8 shells each.
8 shells.
These
Right.
are single barrel.
Oh,
Shotgun.
Good
Hope.
with that. Like this shit in here.
No, I take that back. Yours is single barrel, Sydney. Hobo with the shotgun, yours is double barrel, and you have 16 shells.
Oh yeah. Double barrel.
Oh god, that
I'm
was
looking
great.
up shotgun for us, Eric. I'll get you the stats.
Nice.
Oh yeah, so how does that work on the sheet? Like, so I just added machete, but
On your sheet, you under the combat tab, you can add a fighting or a firearm skill to that list. It should already be in there. And then down at the bottom where it says weapons, if you go into edit mode, you can add weapons with all of their stats.
okay.
Machete,
So I probably should add my wrench.
Yeah, which is gonna work just like a crowbar. Have some of that stuff in here.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me, we're in Peru. Salud.
Salud. I have boxing, but if I hit with a crowbar, is that like 10% less or something like that?
It's actually not supposed to be a brawl roll, but yes, I would let you do the brawl roll at a different difficulty. Crowbar would be a melee weapon roll. Or wait,
okay.
no.
All right.
That is a fighting roll in this game. You're correct. But technically, it would be a different specialization. Technically.
Okay. I put it at 50.
Okay. Does it actually have machete? Hatchet sickle. That works for me.
Hatchet sickle. Never heard of that flavor before.
1d6 plus 1 damage plus your damage bonus if you have one.
Boy. Okay, so bring that to me again. 1d6 plus
1d6 plus 1, and in your case, plus 1d4. So it's 1d6 plus 1d4 plus 1. And then for you, Eric, it'd be whatever.
Well, so we've got a 20 gauge, 16 gauge, and they technically do different damages.
Any of the ones that says 1 or 2 would be Eric's. Eric's is actually not a sawed-off, and it's not semi-auto because that's not a thing yet. So it would be a 20 gauge.
I'm only looking at the ones from 1920s.
Or no, sorry, 12 gauge. His is the big one.
Okay. And which one's mine?
Yours is actually the single barrel 12 gauge pump.
12 gauge pump.
Oh, so mine's like the break open, like clock.
Yes.
Okay. We can edit this out if we need to, but that is a modern weapon that does a fuck ton of damage.
Oh, what do you got on your list?
So for 1920s, I've got a 20 gauge. But they're all double barrel. Like that's the only shotguns from that time that I'm seeing here. 20 gauge shotgun, 2d6, 1d6, 1d3. 16 gauge shotgun, 2d6 plus 2, 1d6 plus 1, 1d4. 12 gauge, 2 double barrel, 46, 2d6, 1d6.
What are your weapon specializations again, Steve?
Rifle shotgun.
Give yourself a rifle. Give him the biggest shotgun.
So, let's see.
The rifles they would have in Peru are all the basic ones plus any decent hunting rifles.
Would the range be considered self or something that you swing?
Yeah, you just put self.
Okay. And then while you have that stuff open, what was the damage for like a wrench or a crowbar?
Same thing, it's just a different kind.
Okay. Bludgeoning.
Yeah.
Keeping that crowbar just
I'm just
in
making
case.
sure there isn't an actual crowbar, and there's not. It's, yeah.
Okay.
For Sean, because no one else is using them unless Steve's keeping them, a 38 automatic is a D10 damage.
Ooh, that's
I
high.
have no skills in guns, so.
Or, sorry. No, they do have automatics in the 20s, so yeah, it's a 38 automatic.
22.
Though I probably should just have.
Probably the 22 bolt action, Steve, but you could also get away with the.
I'm taking the 22.
Okay.
That seems the most on brand for kind of where we are, what we're doing.
Yep.
I don't want to get crazy with it. 1d6.
Just crazy with it. Let's bring that shotgun to that party.
12 rounds. That's 2 full magazine.
Yep.
It's a shotgun party.
There you go.
Wait,
Shotgun
wait.
party, don't
I call
stop.
shotgun.
And you only have to keep these for the prelude. By the time the main campaign again it starts, there may be slightly different weapons, like Springfields may be available for Steve, for instance. The basic early ones.
Oh man.
Pop-out clip.
What about a Tommy gun, Shay?
Yes, those exist now, actually, yeah. I just know Steve's a world adventurer in the jungle. He has to have that signature ping sound when he runs out of bullets and it comes out.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's fantastic.
I'm to get a '58 Springfield musket.
I saw that.
We're going that old school? Damn.
He's only gonna get one shot. It's probably all he needs.
I think does
He's that good.
I think does 1d10 plus 4.
Wow.
You per round 1/4. Get it.
I'll move you to the thing and you can keep filling in stuff if you need to. The big question is, when you arrive, what do you want to say to the lady, Daniel?
I'm like, hey, my friend's upstairs. He's a little. I'm here to take care of him. Can you get me the key to open the door? Because he's not responding.
Petronilla does like you. So, give me a fast talk
Yeah.
with a bonus die.
Fast talk. Hey, I fucked up.
No.
Well, I did get a 3,
Bonus
right?
die.
D10?
Bonus
Yeah.
die. Just hit roll bonus penalty die on the thing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Oh,
Fucking A.
you gonna spend 8 luck
Oh, I can
Sweet
push
talk,
it, maybe.
You can spend 8 luck
or push.
or push, yeah.
How bad could it be to
Oh,
there
look at that!
it is.
Nice.
This guy's good at pushing.
Abuelita, please. I need to get upstairs. My friend, he's. Can you help a brother out?
He gives you the
You
key.
lost your Boston accent.
What are you talking about? I came here in a car.
She gives you the key and says you can have the time you need with him, but if she suspects anything weird, she's calling the cops.
No weird
Fucking
stuff.
weird.
No weird stuff here. It's just all good friends. Thank you. Okay, boss. I got the key. Come on, let's go.
You head upstairs. You're standing in front of his door now.
Click.
You open the door.
Shotgun at the ready.
You open the door.
No-
and
Nothing weird, lady.
Knock, knock.
You open the door and you
God.
see the exact same thing you saw last night that everyone heard me describe. He's on the bed, covered in oily sweat, passed out, totally high on the heroin. Now everyone can see his black veins and his weird tattoo.
Do we have an image?
Good question. I don't know if there's one of the tattoo.
Well, he
Well,
ain't going
actually,
nowhere.
there is. It's the cover art for the campaign.
No shit. Okay. It's that figure. Okay. Very nice. I'm like, I motion for these guys. Like, come on, let's get him out of bed. Let's get this whatever we can out of here, and let's vamoose.
Can I put the gold thing on him?
Yeah.
I put the gold thing on him.
He wakes up, but it doesn't burn him.
Huh.
Okay.
But like touching him wakes him up, and he says, "Why are you in my room?" Oh God! Don't kill me! What's happening? What are you doing?
Keep your voice down. Shut up. Let's go. I make the motion for Sydney. Like, come on, boss. Let's
he just
Get
keeps
going.
asking why you're in his room and what's happening and what's going on and why are you robbing him.
Why are we taking him out of the room?
Do you forget who we are?
Well, I mean,
the guy,
Why don't we
the
go-
monster guy was right next door. If he's part of the cult, they know he's here.
can't we just question him, maybe, for a few minutes?
I
Before
think
we-
we're trying to take him out of an area that they know. Like, yeah, I thought we were just kind of taking him out of this room somewhere else. I have a room next door.
That is true, but we're also
That you rented for
assuming
the
that
week.
there's nothing wrong with this guy and that he's not going to eat our
If
faces.
you only
and
take him
and
across
move
the
our-
hall, you won't make the lady suspect. You won't make Petronilla freak out.
Right. If we walk him out with a gun, that's gonna be a
Yeah.
whole thing. So
Plus, like
I
Sean
tuck
said,
it under
if
my
you're gonna
coat.
check him for monsterness, you probably don't want to drag him through the city first.
yeah, let's get him out of this room because we don't know. Like, I just prefer not to be in this room, honestly.
Get him away
Is there
from that
any-
heroin.
Is there anything interesting about
About
we're all
what?
in
Sorry.
it? Is there anything interesting about the room now that they're all in it?
Can
Because
everyone
you're
else
all
at
in there, you
Spot
find the
notices?
2 artifacts, so you now have those in your possession. With all of you in there, there's no way you'd miss it.
Perfect.
Mhm.
That was the only thing you missed that was special.
Okay.
Okay.
What are the 2 artifacts?
The cup
Ooh.
and the necklace pendant from the dinner.
Actually, there's one more thing I think we would try to find before leaving this room.
Yes.
I thought I heard Elias say that they need to find the location of the pyramid.
Yes.
We don't know the exact location, right?
Neither did Larkin. Yeah.
Okay, so there's no map that's like X circle mark the spot.
Not yet. So
Oops.
so we skipped over it because awesomeness happened, but when Clive got the journal, there is a map in the journal with the note that has an X on a spot on a map.
Oh.
So Clive discovered
right.
the location, we just didn't really get that far yet.
Okay.
No, that's fine. Cool. Then let's drag this guy's ass across the hall.
Okay. He's protesting the whole time, but you've got your hand over his mouth, or you've tied up his mouth with a gag, whatever. You get him in your room and you lock the door. You untied the gag and he says, "I don't understand what's happening. Why you've all turned against me? Where's Hughes? Where's D. Mendoza?"
The Mendoza's not human, and he's
What?
gone now.
What?
Yeah,
Not
he's
human.
not human. Well,
you're
sound
you're
surprised,
mad.
Larkin.
You're mad. What does that mean?
Mr. Lombardi, perhaps
Wait,
maybe
wait,
we should ease into this.
Yeah.
You're
Hold
all
up.
a bunch of
We don't-
maniacs.
Hold up. We don't know how much this guy knows. We don't know.
I
what
don't
he
know
is?
anything.
What do you mean you don't know anything? You didn't know your guy was tearing people's faces off? You didn't know that?
looks
Well, he got
shocked.
black veins.
He does the shocked gif we love so much. What? Psychology rolls.
And what's all
Yeah,
this? What's
seriously.
what's all this? What's all this? What is all that?
Trying to
Psychology
spot to
rolls.
see if he's full of shit or whatever.
You only succeed
Definitely
if
did
you
not
get
make it.
hard.
Fuck.
Psychology.
Okay. So this guy's in shock. We can't really get a read on him. We're hitting him with a bunch of stuff.
Oh, look at that, Hazel. Hazel.
Lie detector.
Fuck
Hazel.
yeah.
Damn.
Hazel. This guy's lying out his asshole.
That's it. Let me take a crack at him.
He knows
Come
that
on.
Mendoza was not human. He knows.
You, sir, are full of shite. Absolute shite.
What? No. I'm glad he's dead.
You better come
My friends
clean,
in the
Larkin.
police
I'm gonna
force will
clock
make the
your-
whole thing
I'm gonna
go
clean your
away.
clock.
Daniel, whack him a
My
little
friends
bit.
in the police force will make the whole thing go away. If he's such a foul
Clock.
beast, it's good he's dead.
Okay, apparently Daniel just clocked Larkin.
To hurt him or to knock him out?
No, just to, knock some sense into him, so let him know that we're not messing around.
He starts
Tell me it was with a sandal.
He starts blubbering.
Mr. Lombardi, please. Let us remember we have a lady present. Perhaps let's not resort to violence immediately.
A lady that's about to pull out her wrench and bash this man across the head.
You know, she's cooler than you. You know that, right?
Note
You know,
taking.
she's better in all of this.
Wait,
than
what do you mean? Her temperature is lower than mine? What's this cooler?
When the car doesn't work, you resort to a hammer.
She's the bee's knees. You're absolute crap.
Damn.
That was
Hazel.
just a love tap, Larkin. You want another one?
Okay, gentlemen.
I don't know what you
Miss
want
Hazel.
from me.
I'm gonna try to do something really quick. I'm gonna kind of like try to keep them at bay. Hazel apparently is gonna pull a wrench out. Daniel's over here, literally like just punching this guy in the face. Not sure what Clive's gonna do. Photograph him to death, maybe.
He's gonna flash him to death. That's
Yeah. So I'm going to try to charm Larkin, and I'm going to good cop to their 3 bad cops. Mr. Larkin, if you can read the situation, I need you to understand that these 3 are about to rip you limb from limb for the mere fact that we just saw what we assumed at one point was man become not a man, kill a young girl in a university, leap from a window, and then had some sort of monstrosity crawl out of him and almost attack Miss Murphy. Please understand that right now we're all on quite an edge, and if you you do not come forward cleanly with the information you have, will resort to brute violence.
Intimidation roll.
The kerosene cult. Tell him about the kerosene cult.
Oh, I was trying to charm him so.
Oh, okay.
His
his
Charm.
um,
Daniel, roll intimidate. If you succeed, then Sydney gets a bonus die for his charm. There you go. No, that's your charm roll. Never mind.
I don't think, but make
Okay,
it
who
up
has
to
intimidate?
surprise. No, that's not very intimidating.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
He blubbers even harder, and it's like you've convinced him that he's cornered and there's nothing he can do. Shit's gonna get real.
Oh god.
Yep. And then he's just blubbering, and then he has a seizure. It's like his body can't take it, and he doesn't like being cornered, and his bodyguard is gone, and he's high on heroin, and he's sick, and you drug him out of his room, and he starts frothing at the mouth, and then his whole body goes rigid.
Ah,
and
crap, we need a
relaxes.
doctor now.
And then
No,
he
we need to
relaxes.
shoot him.
And he sighs and sits up. And he looks at you as his eyes slowly open and they're jet black. And the voice that comes out of his mouth is not Larkin's. It is deep and imperious and ancient. And he says, "Foolish mortals, this world is mine and there's nothing you can do to stop us." He looks right at your eyes when you got the shotgun leveled at him, and he mocks you with his laughter. "If you leave now, I will let you live." And he starts muttering in Lovecraft words.
I punch
And in the
him.
corner of the room, there's a tearing sound, and you can see blackness through a hole that opens in space, and a hand comes out, pulling itself out.
What?
A hand with 7 fingers and claws on each one, pulling itself out of a tear in reality. Sanity rolls.
Ah.
Can I swing the machete?
Yes, but you gotta do your sanity rolls first, and then you can punch him, stab him, and shoot him.
Well then. Okay, I did not make that one.
I succeeded for once!
I seen some stuff, but I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
Sarah, you only lose 1.
Yes!
Daniel.
Wow.
Daniel. Daniel.
Yeah.
Roll 2d4.
Oh god!
You cannot
Well,
use
then.
luck on sanity rolls, no.
I'm sure. Yeah, I lost 5.
I'm gonna miss my favorite hobo.
Clive, 2d4.
Fuck.
I didn't see Steve's roll.
I succeeded.
Clive, you lose 6.
Right on the money, dude. 69.
Nice.
Wow.
Would you go down to Daniel?
I got down to 64.
Okay. And then Sydney and Hazel, you both lose 1.
There's 1.
Clive, we'll worry about your temporary madness after the scene is resolved. Alright, so dexterities for Hazel, Clive, and Daniel.
Dexterity?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
everyone
you should-
except Sydney.
Oh.
Dex.
Oh, I did not.
No, sorry,
shit.
don't roll it, just tell me what it is.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, 50.
65.
Clive?
Mine's 60.
Clive, you're first, punch him.
I did. A while ago.
Oh, I didn't see the roll.
Yeah, he rolled a perfect 80.
Oh, look at that, perfect success. Clive, roll damage.
I don't. What's fist damage?
1d3 plus your damage bonus if you have one. It'll be in your attack tab.
Yeah.
Your combat tab.
I got a brawl fighting skill.
No, on your combat tab it should say damage bonus, and it may have a number.
Oh,
on there.
1d4. Look
So
at
that's
that.
1d4 plus 1d3 for damage. Roll that.
Pop.
And now Sean is happy with this game because he has punched Nyarlathotep.
Yes.
Is that who this is?
You have no idea.
Near Lathotep, man. You have many.
How do you make a D3?
You just do /r space 1d3 and it'll toss the dice out.
It's basically a 1d6.
It's gonna roll a d6 and yeah. 1 through 3 and then 2 through 6.
How do you do /R?
Space
Space.
1d3. Yep. And then roll a d4.
D4.
40.
That did not pop your dice out. That's weird.
We might not have turned 3D dice on.
Someone
They're
doesn't
on.
have the 3D dice enabled.
Oh yeah, yours might not be. That's true. And Daniel, you're next fastest. 2 barrels
Shotgun
to the face.
Bye bye. Boom. Do I get a bonus because I'm right there?
Yeah.
You're shooting Larkin's face, right? Not the hand.
Oh, yeah.
You still gotta roll your attack, but yeah, you get a damage dice because he's right there, a bonus die because he's right there. Bonus die.
Die. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
A 0?
Which it becomes.
Oh
a
yeah, I
six-
made it now.
that becomes a
It's
6.
a super
Roll the
extreme
damage.
success.
Roll the damage and I'll add a bonus for you in my head.
What is it, like a 46?
Yeah.
Nice. You can't have the world.
That 46, by the way, is 1 barrel, so it's 8d6.
Nice. So 16 plus 14, so 30.
And Hazel, give me a hatchet roll or a machete roll.
1d6 plus 1d4 plus 1.
Yes. You don't have to roll the hit.
Wait, what?
You don't have
Hitting
to roll
I
the
just-
hit.
body.
By the time you start hacking it, there's not a lot left.
Woohoo!
Clive leaps up, punches Larkin in the face, breaks his nose, blood goes splurting everywhere. This whole time, the deep evil laughter echoes through the room, unchanging. Daniel stands up, puts both barrels in his face. There's nothing left now, just a neck from a horror movie spurting blood. And then Hazel just starts hacking the body until it starts coming apart. And then the evil laughter just keeps echoing through the room as it slowly fades away and the hole in reality closes with a dramatic shriek sound.
You can't have the world, pal.
You have stopped nothing as the voice is gone.
What? I got 5 loss of sanity in 1 roll. That's temporary madness, not?
Probably, but I know for a fact that Clive's got one. Clive, you want to pick? You want to roll a d10?
Oh shit.
Roll a d10.
Okay, same for you, Eric.
I gotta roll a d10 or pick. I don't know what the options are. Is it like basically freeze, fight, or?
Amnesia, psychosomatic disability, violence, paranoia, significant person,
You should roll.
faint,
Funner.
flee in panic, physical hysteria, phobia, mania.
Oh shit. I think I'd be afraid of the dark, but I'll roll a die.
Clive.
That's the popular idea.
You gain a new phobia. Even if the source of the phobia is not present, you imagine it's there for 1 full minute.
Darkness. Yeah.
You're
I could be in a
convinced you're
completely
trapped.
lit room and I'm like, fucking shadows are coming at me.
For the next
Look
minute,
away!
this is temporary. For the next minute, you think you're trapped in that Terran reality in the darkness.
Get me out of here! Get me out of here! Get me out of
Clive.
here! Let's go! We gotta get out!
Psychosomatic blindness, deafness, or use of a limb for 1 minute. You choose.
Oh shit.
Gotta go with use of a limb. I just want to punch and I can't.
So,
I think that pancake batter made its way to my arm!
for Hazel and Sydney, you see Daniel like flailing around and yelling to turn on the lights, and you see Clive just standing there going,
It's got me! It's got me!
and his arms flopping around.
Best investigators ever.
And you hear Petronella screaming, "I call police! You shoot man! I call police!"
Get me out of here, abuela! Oh no! Turn on the lights! Somebody turn on the lights!
You feel like it's time to go.
Yes.
I can't see! Somebody leave me out of here!
I was gonna say, I'll take Mr. Lombardi. Mr. Caldwell, can you still walk?
Yeah, but my arm doesn't work. That upsets me.
We should all be leaving
Punched
now.
him and he just went, oh, what the fuck's the matter with my arm, man?
My arm.
It's his good arm
Try-
too.
Trying to open the car door,
Shit.
can't.
Yes.
I punched it and it infected my hand.
I will lead.
Floppy McCaldwell here.
I will lead Daniel out.
Oh, thank you.
You escape in your car. However, they saw your faces and your car. Which means when you get
What
back,
the hell was that?
When you get back to the other hotel, you tell Jackson what happened, as you all shake and drink a lot of whiskey. And look much whiter than normal.
We gotta ditch the car, boss. We gotta ditch the car.
Jackson says, I feel like that means we should probably embark on our expedition quickly, perhaps first thing in the morning.
I should quite agree.
Did Mendoza have a car? Did he have a car?
No.
I think it was a khaki car.
However, Jackson, combined with the might and money of Sydney, are able to procure what you need that fast. It just costs more than normal to head out. Which means... Go ahead.
I was going to say, Miss Murphy, it feels though as at this point in time, my car will be of limited value and use to us in our extreme situation. And while I know that you can repair it to its previous pristine state, perhaps we might be able to sell it for some extra spending cash.
Indeed. Or I might be able to scrap it for future for the next car that we end up using.
Can she scrap the car and store them somewhere we might be able to get back to at a later time?
Yes. You're going to be asked, what do you want to do for the final night before you leave? That's what she does.
Okay.
What do you do for that night, Clive?
I take one of the limes in my pocket.
Okay.
And use it with a whole lot of tequila.
Okay. Daniel.
I clutched the shotgun very tightly.
How many lights are on in your room that night?
All of them.
Oh.
And Sydney,
Poor
what do you
Daniel.
do that night?
Being hopefully the most explorative of the group, and having lost our specific contact, I'll spend the night gathering as many supplies and dry good foods and stuff that can survive the jungle for several days and kind of get us...
So you stay up the night with Jackson, making everything ready.
Yeah, just make sure that he's not oversighting anything. We're not going to get
Right.
X, Y, or Z. Yeah.
Perfect. And when we resume next time, you will begin the expedition into the jungle. How could it possibly get worse than what you've already experienced?
I was going to say, I think we've peaked on the horror, and it's just, we're just going to have smooth sailing from here.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Now,
Everything's fine.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end of every session, two things must happen. One,
Improvement rolls.
everybody can see if they improve luck. Skills, no, only at the end of chapters.
Oh, right.
But everybody rolls luck, and if you fail, then you get... if you fail, then you get to improve your luck by 1d10.
Right.
So go.
I made it.
Oh, look.
Clive,
I fucking
failure.
failed.
Daniel,
Fail.
success. Okay. Clive and Sydney, Clive and Sydney, roll a d10 and add that many points to your luck.
How? Are you gonna?
4. Yay.
Oh.
Oh, Sydney!
Whoa!
Nice.
Fuck off.
Suck it!
Whoa!
And because this is one of my games, go around the table and you'll pick your favorite other person and tell us why, and that person can either keep a bonus die for the next game or do another luck roll raise right now. So, we're going to start with Clive the reporter. Who's your favorite and why?
Steve, because he was an asshole.
I approve. Sarah, who's your favorite and why?
Oh crap. I'm gonna have to go with Eric because his accent and even the movements he was doing cracked me the fuck up. Holy crap.
Eric, who and why?
I actually was gonna say Sarah because she pulled off that incredible move and just splattered.
It's pretty great.
So cool.
Demon De Lorenzo or whatever.
Steve, who and why?
I was going to, funny enough, vote Sean and have this be a complete split. Up until, because the line that got me was that hobo. Damn, that hobo's fast.
I didn't remember that one. That's good.
But that was until, of course, Hazel splattered the vampire with the car, in the greatest role in Call of Cthulhu ever. So
Yes.
And the DM roll of the night, the forward of the night, goes to Sean for the lines and the guard.
What the limes! Oh, the limes!
God, the limes!
Oh, it was so good.
Does anyone who
full
got
line.
a point want to do for a luck roll, or are you going to save it for bonus die?
I want to do a luck roll.
Okay.
I'm-
With the point, you don't have to roll for the luck, you just roll the d10. It allows you to automatically succeed on the raise. Just roll a d10. 6
Is that
more.
There you
So
go.
if I go over my...
Your
Wait,
max
that's
is
a luck roll.
99. You can go over your initial. You can just
Sorry,
never go
I was
over
thinking
99.
about sanity. That's...
Yeah, sir. I think you got me and Eric's vote.
Yeah, you got 2.
Okay. Can I do one luck and one save?
You sure can.
Sweet.
So roll a d10 for the luck.
Oh, those.
Yeah, just roll a d10. Eight points. Nice.
Nice. Very nice. Getting luckier somehow.
And for everyone watching us, we'll see you next time for the conclusion of the prologue. And as the session comes to a close, always remember, if the book contains knowledge man was not meant to know, don't read it. If the hallway is dark and looks treacherous, don't go in. And most importantly, save the last bullet.